it's still a 3-0 lead for the Crawdads. Pitch here is taken to left by Muniz, and that is gone. A 3-run homer for Diego Muniz. And was there any doubt about that ball? 0-2 pitch to Diego. Here it is, and Muniz hits this high into left field, and that is going to leave the park as well. The second home run for Diego Muniz. And a swing and a miss on a high fastball away. Montgomery goes down fishing, and that is strikeout number 8 for Garza. 1-2 pitch here from Garza. Swing and a miss. Garza has everything working this afternoon. Another strikeout. Hayden Schott is going to look to put the ball in play here. Payoff pitch is lined straight up the middle, and here comes Kern Ozawa Burns. He rounds third. Selno waves him home. Ozawa Burns crosses home plate. Wow. Pitch. Dardar hits this high and deep to center field. Going back on it is David, and that has left the park. Bye-bye baseball. Dardar has a one-out solo homer here in the top of the second. Iverson likes the sign he's getting now from battery mate Mark Gallard. Swing and a miss, and no wonder he liked it so much. He knew it was going to be a strikeout pitch. Fastball swung on and missed. The second strikeout of the night for Ulla Iverson. Werner cracks one deep to center, and that ball is gone. And Trevor Werner unloaded on the baseball. This is hit hard by Brandel into left field. Going back is Most, and Most watches it leave the park. Bye-bye baseball. The Crawdads are on the board. A 2-run homer by Jake Brandel. Danville, California, Alon Desai here with you for the Crawdads baseball game today against the visiting OC Riptide. The Crawdads won yesterday in exciting fashion, a walk-off grand slam hit by Coleman Schmidt. Crawdads are 9-7 overall now this summer. And the OC Riptide, who are finishing out their lengthy road trip up north, are 8-5 overall. Both teams 4-5 in division play. This is, of course, a non-division game. The umpires are going to be Justin Ammett behind the plate and Tony Marcocha on the bases. Starting pitcher today is going to be Fisher Johnson for the Crawdads. The Crawdads looking to start a new winning streak. Obviously, the game on Friday, well, they won yesterday, and they'd like to win today. The game on Friday against the OC Riptide, unfortunately, they were not able to pull it out. They lost 9-6. Riptide are coming off of a 6-4 victory yesterday up in Sonoma against the Stompers. Now, both teams coming off of a win, and Fisher Johnson is going to look to do much of the same of what Hollis Fanning did yesterday. A very good start for Fanning. He was dominant, just an outrageous strike-to-ball ratio. He threw over 70 strikes in just about 21 balls. Now, Fisher Johnson is going to be the starter. He's a big righty from USC, and the first man he will face is Shane Taylor. The lineup for OC, Shane Taylor leading off. He's at third base. Wilson Galvan, the right fielder, batting second. Then Dominic Soto, the second baseman, batting third. The first pitch here from Johnson misses low and in the count 1-0. Game was scheduled for 12. Game starts at 12:03. And this pitch misses inside in the count 2-0. Not as hot as it has been lately at Monte Vista today. Just 86, but has a chance to get into the low 90s. After Soto, it's Mark Filia, the first baseman, batting cleanup. Blake Penso, the designated hitter, batting fifth. Batting sixth is Terrence Simmons, the center fielder. And the 2-0 pitch. This misses low and in the count 3-0. Gavin Mez, the catcher, batting seventh. Chase Valentine, the shortstop, batting eighth. Nate Manning, the left fielder, batting ninth. Shane Taylor batting .289 with no home runs and an RBI is ahead 3-0. The pitch here from Johnson. There's a get-me-over fastball from Fisher in the count 3-1. Fisher Johnson comes in to his third start of the summer, fourth appearance overall. He's 0-2 with a 4.32 ERA, 8 1/3 innings pitch. The 3-1 pitch, this misses low and in, and he walks the first batter he faces. That is the 4th walk issued by Johnson this summer. Still a good strikeout to walk ratio, 14-4. Johnson does lead the team in strikeouts. So out of that entire Crawdads pitching staff, he's number 1 when it comes to getting Ks. His last appearance was on June 17th at Healdsburg. That was a 7-3 loss. He pitched 3 1/3 innings, gave up 2 earned runs, 4 runs overall. So here's Wilson Galvan. And the pitch to Galvan is hit right back at Johnson. He evades it and it ends up in center field. So after the walk, Galvan goes after the first pitch he sees from Johnson and lines it into center. So the Dads, who were pretty offensively impotent for most of the day yesterday until the 9th, already behind the 8 ball here in terms of a runner being in scoring position, nobody out, already given up a hit. And here's Dominic Soto, who's hitting .478. First pitch to Soto, who shows bunt. This pitch gets by the catcher Barnhart, and both runners will advance. So you can hear Coach Cummings yell out there to clean things up to his players. Now Shane all the way to third. Wilson Galvan now at second. Johnson has only thrown 1 strike thus far. On deck, Mark Filia. Dominic Soto, who's at second base today for the Riptide, ahead 1-0. He's got 4 doubles and 4 RBIs, no homers yet. Riptide kind of having a bit of a disappointing season by their standards so far, still early. The 1-0 pitch from Johnson, and this is chopped. It's going to be charged on by Corio, who's going to throw over to first, and it forces Duroff to stretch, and it gets by him, and 2 runs will score. So an error there on the second baseman, Tyson Corio. Soto advances to second, and the OC Riptide have an early 2-0 lead as Shane and Galvan both come around to score. Shane Taylor from third and Wilson Galvan from second. So not the start Fisher Johnson wanted, and not the start that the Crawdads wanted. Already 2-0, Riptide. Oh, here's Mark Filia, who's still looking for his first hit of this summer campaign. He's got a runner in scoring position. That's Soto at second. First pitch here. This bounces low and outside. A good job by Barnhart to block it. The defense for the Crawdads, it's Barnhart behind the plate, Duroff at first, Corio, who just made the error at second, Ellis the third baseman, Jude Putz at shortstop, Brome in left, Schmidt in center, and Kavares Tears in right field. A ball, no strikes. And the 1-0, that's in there for a strike, so good job by Johnson to get himself on the board. The count even 1-1. Crawdads scored all 5 of their runs yesterday in the 9th. Don't want to see the same happen today. The 1-1 pitch, and this is hit high into center field. It'll hang up for Coleman Schmidt. He's going to throw back in. The runner will not tag from second. Now Soto scurries back in safely to the second base bag, and that's out number 1. Here is Blake Penso, the designated hitter, who's batting .192. No home runs, just 1 RBI. As the righty Penso in, ready to see the first pitch here from Johnson. Johnson fires and hits the zone here with a good pitch. Good fastball there from Fisher Johnson, and the count 0-1. Looks like Johnson may be settling down here. Been a wild pitch already. Looks back to second and delivers. There's a breaking ball that is fouled away, out of play on the right side, and the count 0-2. Top of the first inning here in Danville. It's 2-0 Orange County. Riptide wearing their gray jerseys with the gray pants and the blue trim on the sleeves. Crawdads in the dark gray tops with the white pants and the red lettering. This pitch, 0-2 pitch, is swung on and missed in the dirt, and that's a strikeout for Fisher Johnson, his 15th of the summer. Now, if he continues like that, he will continue to lead the Crawdads pitching staff in strikeouts. So Penso is taken care of with relative ease, and here's the center fielder for the Riptide, Terrence Simmons, hitting .571, just 7 ABs, but over 500. He's seeing the ball well so far this summer for Orange County. Tim Brown, the manager, has to be happy with that. And the first pitch to the lefty Simmons is a fastball that misses outside, and going to be a balk called. Did not come set. Fisher Johnson doesn't come set. Now he's having a little conversation with Tony Marcocha, the umpire behind the mound. And unfortunately for the Dads, that will advance Dominic Soto over to third. Oh, the pitch here from Johnson. This is hit the other way into left field. Brome has it for out number 3. A good job by Johnson, able to just keep it to 2 runs. Unfortunately, walking Shane and then giving up the hit to Wilson Galvan. Then the E4, that's what really hurt. Something uncharacteristic from Tyson Corio. The Crawdads down by 2. It's 2-0. They'll come up to bat. It'll be Schmidt, Corio, and Brome when we return here for the bottom of the first on the Crawdads streaming network. Back here in Danville, California at Monte Vista High School, the Crawdads down by a couple. It's 2-0 OC Riptide. It'll be Schmidt, Corio, and Brome the first 3. The lineup for the Dads: Coleman Schmidt, Tyson Corio, the second baseman, Ryan Brome. Then Brian DeRoff, the first baseman, batting cleanup. Batting 5th is the third baseman, Ryan Ellis. Joey Donnelly, the designated hitter this afternoon. He's batting 6th. Joe Barnhart, the catcher, batting 7th. Tavares Tears in right field, batting 8th. And Jude Putz, the shortstop, batting 9th. First man to come to the plate here for the Dads will be Coleman Schmidt, who is just on a blistering pace thus far, hitting .403 with 5 home runs, a huge one yesterday, the Grand Slam, and 15 RBI. Oh, starter today for the OC Riptide, it's Jonah Jenkins. He'll be a senior over at the University of San Francisco, 6'1" righty, making his 3rd start of the summer. All 3 appearances now have been starts. He's 0-1 with a 4.05 ERA, 6 2/3 innings pitched, 8 strikeouts and 5 walks. Pitch here to Schmidt is a fastball down the pipe that Schmidt takes for strike number 1. Jenkins' last start was against the Academy Barons. That was down at the Great Park in Irvine. That was a 6-0 loss for the Riptide. This pitch is swung on and missed, and the count quickly 0-2. Coleman Schmidt, the hero yesterday, a walk-off grand slam to left. Go on the Crawdads Instagram and hear Austin Oda's wonderful call of that play. And the 0-2 pitch, this is hit the other way, high into right field, and it's drifting foul, and it will land foul. So the count stays 0-2. The defense for the Riptide, it's Gavin Mez behind the plate, Mark Filia over at first, Soto the second baseman, Shane Taylor at third, Chase Valentine at shortstop once again, Manning in left, Simmons in center, and Wilson Galvan, the right fielder. Oh, Manning came in on the game Friday. The game on Friday, he came in as the 0-2 is on the way. A big curveball there that Schmidt has to fight off. Count stays 0-2, but Manning came in after Santino Panaro, who was the starter out in left field on Friday for the OC Riptide, was hit in the neck by a fastball as he was trying to turn his back and trying to defend himself. He was hit right above the numbers and on the shirt collar. Now Manning is playing once again in left field. The 0-2 pitch to Schmidt. He checks his swing here, and the appeal over to first. And Tony Marcocha says he did not go, so the count will be a ball and 2 strikes. So Manning batting 9th today. Might see some extended playing time for the Riptide, depending on how long Panaro is out. The 1-2, and Schmidt connects here, hits this deep to left field, and that is gone. Kiss that baby goodbye. A grand slam in the 9th yesterday, and a leadoff solo shot here for Coleman Schmidt. Touch 'em all. His 6th home run of the summer, and he leads the CCL in big flies. Coleman Schmidt is just tearing the cover off of the ball. So a case of Wheaties there for Coleman Schmidt. It is 2-1 OC Riptide. The Crawdads right back in it. Oh, here's Tyson Corio. The first pitch to the lefty Corio. He takes inside, and it's a strike. And what's so impressive about Schmidt is he was down in that count. Well, even in a 1-2 count, he's able to go yard. The 0-1 pitch to Corio. He takes low this time. Another good fastball there from Jenkins. And the count 1-1. That is only the 3rd earned run as this curveball comes in for a strike that Jonah Jenkins has surrendered so far through 6 2/3 innings. Corio just hitting 154, but been heating up, and this pitch is chopped foul. The count stays 1-2. So when Schmidt is able to connect, I mean, he's finding the gaps if it stays in the ballpark. Otherwise, it's leaving. It's a hot day here in Monte Vista. The 1-2, and this is hit on the ground down the first baseline, and that is fouled once again. The count 1-2. Staying alive is Tyson Corio. But Schmidt is hitting the ball very well and very hard. And almost equally as impressive as he leads the league in stolen bases. The 1-2 pitch. And this is bounced up in the dirt to Gavin Mez. And the count even at 2-2. Oh, it's 2-1. Riptide. Schmidt able to get the Crawdads on the board with a leadoff home run. He's 2 for 2 with a couple of homers in his last 2 at-bats. The 2-2 pitch, this misses high and away. Mez has to pick it, and the count 3 balls and 2 strikes, still nobody out. On deck is Ryan Brome. Brome has the highest average coming into this contest for the Dads, hitting .405. Here's this pitch, and this misses low, and Corio does a very good job of working himself back into that at-bat and drawing a walk. You get the leadoff home run from Schmidt. Corio now on first, and here is Ryan Brome, who has 17 hits and 42 at-bats, has a homer and 13 RBIs. First pitch to Brome, and it's a fastball around the knees, called for strike number 1 by Justin Ammett, who's behind the plate today. Jenkins sets, and the pitch. And it's a curveball that misses inside. And the count, a ball and a strike. There were some big boppers on this Crawdads team last summer, but I don't think any of them got as hot as Coleman Schmidt is right now. The 1-1 pitch. Brome takes another big bender there that misses in. And the count, 2 balls and a strike. The Crawdads doing a good job so far, laying off those curveballs from Jenkins. And the 2-1. This is sliced foul. Just a little late there was Brome, as he hit it on a rope right over the dugout of the Riptide. Crawdads will be back at it on Tuesday. So getaway day for the Riptide today, as Monday is the regularly scheduled off day across the CCL. The 2-2 pitch, and the runner goes, and the throw. Corio will have second. Mez came up and fired, but it was offline. And Corio has a stolen base. Oh, for Corio, that is his 3rd stolen bag of the season. And it's now a full count to Ryan Brome with a runner in scoring position. Crawdads threatening early to tie things up. The pitch, and Brome swings at a high fastball and misses. Oh, he's punched out there by Jonah Jenkins, and that's out number 1. Oh, here is Brian DeRoff, the righty against righty, with Tyson Corio at second. DeRoff hitting .321, has a home run and 8 RBIs. Also drawn 6 walks this summer. And the first pitch to DeRoff is cut on and fouled high out of play. And the count 0-1. Corio's athletic ability has been on display the past about 10 days for this Crawdads team. Got some extended playing time after Jude Putz was away at the College World Series watching his brother play. And the 0-1. This bounces, and Mez able to smother it, make sure it doesn't get too far away from him. And the count, even, a ball and a strike. So far, Jenkins has been a little erratic. Hasn't been able to locate the curveball yet. He's got a big 12-6 breaker. He's tried firing it into lefties for strikes. Missed with it a couple of times. The fastball has been his best pitch thus far, with the exception of the one that Coleman Schmidt took ownership of. The 1-1 pitch, and here's a fastball that misses high. And the count, 2 balls and a strike. 1 out here in the bottom of the first. Crawdads trying to reset the game here and tie it back up. The 2-1, and this misses in. A good take by Brian DeRoff there. It was a good fastball from Jenkins, trying to hit the inner half of the plate. DeRoff wisely held up. Now he's got all the leverage here. It's 3 balls and a strike. And a very dangerous hitter for the Dads. The 3-1 pitch, and DeRoff swings after it, hits this into right center. Moving back is Galvan, and it gets over his head at the wall. Corio going to round third, and he's on his way home. The throw home is not there, not on target. It gets by Mez, and now the Crawdads have another runner on third. Brian DeRoff able to hit a scorching double out into right center. And then on the bad throw to home plate, he's able to advance to third. So the game is tied 2-2. Saw the wheels on display there from Tyson Corio. He was hustling awfully hard and rounded third, with the only intention being to cross home plate. The Dads tie it up. Get a solo from Coleman Schmidt, and now an RBI from Brian DeRoff. Well, the relay that was coming in from Soto over at second back home was offline. Mez, even if he did catch it cleanly, would have had a very tough time reaching back with his left hand to tag Corio, who's coming in with some serious speed to home plate. And because of that, it is 2-2. There is a meeting on the mound right now as the Riptide pitching coach is trying to settle down his starter today. But the game is tied 2-2. And after a rocky start for the Dads in the top of the first, it's all knotted up. So here is Ryan Ellis. And the first pitch to Ellis, he fouls this away. And the count 0-1. The 0-1 pitch to Ellis. There's a good curveball from Jenkins. That's what he's been looking for. Ellis hitting .214. There's a couple of home runs and 5 RBIs. And wait a sec here. Wait a sec. Time is called by Ellis, and Jenkins decides to deliver anyway, even with Justin Ammett waving his hand saying, no, no, no. And the pitch here to Ellis. Ellis foul tips this into the backstop. Count will stay 0-2. Duroff over at third. He just tied the game up with a big RBI into the right center gap. The 0-2 pitch. Ellis takes a beauty of a breaking ball here. And lucky for Ellis, it is not called a strike. Misses high. And the count, a ball and 2 strikes. Just 1 out so far. And Joey Donnelly, the designated hitter for the Dads, on deck. The 1-2 pitch to Ellis. Ellis swings, hits this very high on the right side of the infield, and taking it is Soto for out number 2. A big pop-up there for Ryan Ellis, just getting under the ball. And here's Joey Donnelly.
Batting 6 for Walnut, Joey Donnelly.
Big lefty Donnelly has a lot of power in his bat. Comes in with 3 home runs, 12 RBIs, and for a man that has been the DH quite a bit, he's batting over .316, and this ball comes in and hits Donnelly. So there's that curveball that Jenkins has had trouble with. It's Donnelly right on the wrist. Donnelly now at first. So runners on the corners for the Crawdads. Donnelly not really even to get settled in there during that at-bat. And here's Joe Barnhart. On Friday, Barnhart was the catcher against the Riptide. It was a tough day behind the plate for him. Had that play where he tried to get an out at third, thought it was a force out at the plate. It was not. Also alarming for Barnhart in that game against the Riptide. He struck out 4 times. The first pitch to Barnhart, and he takes a big cut here through a fastball that's away. And the count 0-1. So far, Barnhart hitting .250. It's his 13th at-bat. Still looking for his first RBI. Runners on the corners for the Dads. 1 strike, 2 away. The 0-1 pitch. Barnhart takes a fastball here that nicks the inside zone, and the count 0-2. Barnhart can figure out a way to get on base. Kavara's Tears will come up to the plate, and the runners go. And this is fouled back. So Duroff stayed, kind of faked a run home there from third. And Donnelly took off for second. But Donnelly back at first once again, and the count's still 0-2. Jenkins fires. This pitch misses away. Trying to frame it was Mez, to no avail, and the count a ball and 2 strikes. Gavin Mez has been good behind the plate for the Riptide. And the 1-2 pitch. There's a big curveball that freezes Barnhart. and he strikes out in his last 5 at-bats against the Riptide. He has struck out 5 times, this time looking, but the Crawdads do tie it up. The big solo shot from Coleman Schmidt and a nice opposite field RBI from Brian DeRoff. Unfortunately for the Dads, they do strand 2 runners, 1 on first, 1 on third. So, top of the second coming up. It's all knotted up, 2-2 here in Danville, California. Be right back with more Crawdads baseball when we return on the Crawdads streaming network. Top of the second in Danville, California. Johnson still on the mound for the Dads. Getting a little funky out here in Danville. Got the, that's the average white band coming through the speakers. It'll be 7, 8, and 9 for the Riptide. Gavin Mez, the catcher, sitting 387. Will lead off the top of the second. Then it'll be Chase Valentine, the shortstop, and Nathan Manning, the left fielder. So 7, 8, and 9 for the Riptide. And the first pitch from Johnson is a slider that misses away. The count 1-0. Gavin Mez, the catcher this summer for the Riptide. Last summer, his UNLV compadre, Eric Bajani, was their starting backstop. Kind of a pipeline there. The 1-0 pitch, and Mez takes this to right, and it gets over the leaping Corio's glove. And that'll be a hit for Mez. Well, Mez does his job out of the 7 spot, but these last 2 hitters in the order, both batting below 100. Valentine at 0.45. You might remember that Valentine threw his glove on Friday. Check that. That was yesterday. That was, that was Rogers yesterday who threw his glove up in the air. Pickoff move over to first. Thank you for the correction there, Austin. I still can't believe that happened. I'm still trying to figure out what was going on. Bunt shown here and pulled back. Pitch misses high. And the count 1-0. Yeah, we saw something very odd yesterday. A shortstop throwing his glove up in the air to try to catch the ball, I guess. And the 1-0 from Johnson. Here's a fastball that right down Broadway, and the count even, a ball and a strike. We were talking about it in the booth yesterday that should have been 3 bases for the batter. It's not ruled that way. Maybe a little cosmic justice with Schmidt's walk-off grand slam after that. The 1-1 pitch, and this bounces away from Barnhart. And Mez will have second. Oh, we've seen the struggles behind the plate for Barnhart. He's trying to get a lot of time behind the dish as a catcher this summer for the Dads. And he's just had trouble blocking pitches. That one was a tough one. It did bounce to him, but still got to start making some of those plays. Oh, it's 2-1. Valentine sees the pitch and elects not to swing on a good breaking ball there from Johnson. And the count 2-2. Valentine wearing the neon green cleats. Always notice that when he's out there. With the flashiest shoes. The 2-2 pitch, and there's a slider that locks up Chase Valentine. Valentine has to take the walk of shame back to the dugout. And Johnson has now struck out 2 here. And there's 1 away. Now, this is the part of the order that Johnson should be very aggressive with. I mentioned both the 8 and 9 hitters, Valentine and Manning, batting below 100. Manning at .067. Manning shows bunt, lays down a pretty good one, but it'll trickle foul down the third base line. Ellis over at third kind of waited for it. He's got such a strong arm, he doesn't have to play as aggressively as some of the other infielders may have to, although Matt King, who's over at third pretty regularly now since the exodus of Jacob Craig, he has a very good arm in his own right. And the count 0-1 with Mez over on second because of the ball, the pitch that got away from Johnson, ended up at the backstop. And the 0-1 to Manning. Here is that same slider trying to get it to start out, come back in. It misses far inside, and the count even at a ball and a strike. This game does not count for CCL playoff standings, as it is an out-of-division game. 1-1 pitch. This is chopped on the ground over to Corio. He has it. Tosses to first. That's out number 2. Mez does advance to third. And that'll bring up Shane Taylor, rather.
Third baseman Shane Taylor.
Shane Taylor walked in his first at-bat, eventually came around to score. Corio looks to have settled down out there at second. He did have an E4. That was when Soto came up to bat. A runner in scoring position here. The first pitch, that's a strike. Good job by Johnson. And the count 0-1. Shane Taylor batting just below 300 as a leadoff hitter. The 0-1 pitch, he takes a big cut here and misses on something off speed. And the count 0-2. Johnson, a strike away from out number 3 here. And keeping this a 2-2 ball game. The 0-2 pitch, and this is swung on and missed. Sit him down, Johnson. Baby just ran the heat right by him. And it's still 2-2. The OC Riptide not able to score Mez from third. And the Crawdads will have a chance to add on some more runs and try to take the lead when we return for the bottom of the second here on the Crawdads Streaming Network. Bottom of the second, 2-2. Crawdads were able to tie it up in the bottom of the first after the Riptide got out to an early 2-0 lead. It'll be 8-9-1 for the Dads at the plate. With Kavares Tears, the big left-handed power bat, who's in the 8th spot today, leading off. Then it'll be Jude Putz and Coleman Schmidt. Kavares Tears had a couple of hits yesterday, came around to score once. comes in batting right around 300 with 3 home runs and 12 RBIs. And the first pitch to Tears. He takes a curveball low and in the count 1-0. Tears, over about the past week, has really been making good contact. The 1-0 pitch and another curveball. This one misses in the count 2-0. That just has not been there yet for Jenkins. You can tell he's trying to get that pitch online. But Tears had that monster 9 RBI day against the West Coast Kings earlier this past week. The 2-0 pitch, and Tears takes high and away. Easy to lay off that. And the count, 3 balls and no strikes. He had 2 home runs, a grand slam that day. And the 3-0 pitch. This is a fastball. Paints the inside corner, does Jenkins. And the count 3-1. The 3-1 pitch from Jenkins, and this is hit high in the air to right field. Coming over is the right fielder, Galvan, and it's bobbled in the outfield, and it drops. So Simmons tried to call him off, and then him and Galvan kind of ran into each other, and
for Walnut Creek, the shortstop, number 4, Jude.
Not sure what happened there, how that gets botched. That should have been an easy out. And we'll see who that error goes on. The error will go on the right fielder, Galvan. That's an E9. Oh, Tears over at first. And the first pitch to Putz. Putz hitting 120. Ahead in the count 1-0. The pitch, and this hits Putz. Hits Jude right on the shoulder. He was able to lean away and kind of dodge most of the hit. Just brushed him, did the fastball, but he's plunked nonetheless. It'll be runners on first and second for the Dads. So an E9. It should have been an easy fly out to right. It is dropped by Galvan. So Tears ends up on first. Then the hit by pitch of Jude Putz. Oh, here's Coleman Schmidt, who's 1 for 1 today with a monstrous home run to left. And it has not been the start that Jonah Jenkins has hoped for thus far. Already in hot water again. It's only the bottom of the second. Pitch to Schmidt. There's a curveball. Hits the outer half to Jenkins, and the count 0-1. You do have to give credit to Jenkins for his continuous effort to go to that breaking ball. Just hasn't had the success he's wanted with it. Hasn't been able to locate it consistently. Looks back to second as Jenkins. And the 0-1 pitch, another big curveball. This one foul tipped into the armor of Mez behind the plate, and the count 0-2. Schmidt with a league-leading 6 home runs now and 16 RBIs. Amazing, he's hitting over 400, and he's such a slugger. And the 0-2 to Schmidt. Schmidt checks his swing here. This fastball misses high and in. And the count, a ball and 2 strikes. Jenkins laboring out there. He's thrown 46 pitches. Still does not have an out here in the bottom of the second, although he can be a little angry with Galvan for not having at least one. Jenkins looks back and fires the 1-2 pitch. This is popped up high in foul territory. Looking at it is Filia, the first baseman, and he does put the squeeze on this for out number 1. That'll bring up Tyson Corio, who walked in the first. Came around to score. on that RBI from Brian DeRoff. Runners on first and second. Pitch here to Corio. Corio hits this one down the right field line, foul. Just out in front there was Tyson Corio. Corio has committed an error today. And the count 0-1. Tiers has his leadoff of second. The 0-1 pitch, Corio takes here. There's that curveball again. This one misses low. And the count, a ball and a strike. Just the one out so far. Crawdads, the golden opportunity here to get out in front of this one. It's tied 2-2. And the 1-1 pitch. This is fouled over the broadcast booth here at Monte Vista. And it will ricochet off the roof of the broadcast booth and land on the bleachers. I don't think it's a slanted roof here. Maybe hit the tree right above us. Like these trees here, though. Gives us a little bit of shade. And the 1-2 to Corio. This misses inside. And the count even 2-2. Jenkins has thrown 29 strikes and 22 balls. Already above 50 pitches. And probably be above 60 by the end of the inning. The 2-2 pitch to Corio. Corio, this is fouled off the fist, and this back over the broadcast booth once again. Trying to jam Corio was Jenkins with that last pitch. Did a good job. Corio was able to fight it off. And the count stays 2-2. Tiers off of second. Putz off of first. The 2-2 to Corio. Corio takes here on the outer half, and it's a strike. A good fastball there from Jenkins. And Corio is struck out. That's 3 strikeouts now for Jenkins. However, he has had to throw a lot of pitches. Now here is Ryan Brome, who struck out swinging in the first. I'll have a chance to make up for that here. Lefty Brome against the righty Jenkins. A good matchup for the Dads. With 2 runners on and Tiers at second in scoring position. First pitch here to Brome, and he lines this into center. Tiers is going to round third, hustling on home now. The throw is not going to be in time, and Tiers able to slide into home plate safely. It is 3-2 Dads. Oh, Brome makes up with his strikeout, with a RBI single into center field. Keep this inning rolling. The throw was a bit offline, and it was late. Trying to almost block the running lane there was Gavin Mez. Tiers with a very good head-first slide into home. And it's 3-2 Crawdads here in the bottom of the second. Oh, first pitch to Brian DeRoff is a good curveball there for a strike. On the outside, and the count 0-1. DeRoff had an RBI for extra bases in the first. Ended up all the way at third because of an error on the second baseman. The 0-1 pitch, and this bounces up to Mez. He's able to pick it, does not let it get away. On a count 1-1. Still the bottom of the second. The Crawdads have taken the lead. Thanks to Ryan Brome. And the 1-1 pitch. DeRoff takes here. A little bit low with the fastball from Jenkins. And the count 2 balls and a strike. DeRoff with 18 hits now this summer. The 2-1 pitch, and he fouls this back into the fencing up above the backstop. And the count 2-2. Duroff has been awfully good for the Crawdads over at first this summer. Really good at making that stretch when he has to. And the 2-2 pitch to Duroff, and he kind of checks at this and hits it on the ground. Charging in is Valentine, who makes a nice running throw over to first. And Duroff is called out, much to the chagrin of some of the Crawdads fans who are here. Duroff was booking it down the baseline there, but thrown out on a good, strong throw from Chase Valentine. But the Crawdads do get another run, and it is now 3-2. Crawdads will take this one-run lead into the top of the third, but hold on here. We're gonna stay here for just a moment as Justin Ammett, the home plate umpire, is now talking to Tony Marcocha, the man out on the bases, as Duroff is staying put at first, and the call is reversed. They're gonna say the throw forced the first baseman off the bag, and Duroff is safe. And now Tim Brown, the manager for the Riptide, is coming out to give Marcocha a load of his mind. And Duroff is going to be at first no matter what. So I was mentioning to Austin yesterday during the broadcast and a few other times in previous broadcasts that I've seen a few calls this summer go against the Dads by being reversed. This is the first one in 2 summers that I have seen and that we have seen go in favor of the Crawdads. Ryan Ellis will be up at the plate. Bases are loaded. Thus far, Kavara's Tears has been able to score. He scored from third on an RBI from Ryan Brome. Putz over at third. Brome's going to be at second. Duroff at first. Ryan Ellis, who popped up to the second baseman Soto in his first at-bat, is going to see what some of the men in the OC Riptide dugout definitely think is a free at-bat. And now the home plate umpire, Ammett, is going to let Jenkins throw a few warm-up pitches here, as Jenkins thought he was out of the inning. And Jenkins will just throw one. A couple of warm-up pitches turns into one, and the first pitch to Ellis, here it is with the bases juiced. This bounces low up to Mez, and the count 1-0. Putz at third. Brome at second, Duroff at first. The 1-0 pitch to Ellis. Ellis is drilled, and that'll be a run for the Dads. It is now 4-2. And no, did that pitch guy look like it got him? And actually, Ellis just got out of the way. I thought that hit off the elbow. I did hear something from our field mic. It'll be 2-0, but a run scores on the wild pitch. Ellis kind of reacted as if that did hit him. Maybe that was just him shuffling out of the way for the runner Putz to score. So it's now 4-2. And the 2-0 pitch to Ellis. This misses high and away. And the bases at risk of being loaded again. Just one more ball, and Ellis gets the free pass. Putz came in to score. Brome at third. Duroff at second. And this pitch misses high and away. That's a 4-pitch walk of Ryan Ellis. The bases are loaded. A wild pitch from Jonah Jenkins. Looked like it ran in on Ellis. He was able to evade it. But a run does score. And the Crawdads with a 2-0 lead, and the dangerous Joey Donnelly stepping in. He was hit by a pitch in his first at-bat. Still looking for his first hit of the day. And the first pitch to Joey, and he goes right after it. Hits this very high on the infield. The third baseman, Shane Taylor, looking at it, and will have it for out number 3. But the Crawdads get 2 more here in the bottom of the second. It is now 4-2. Top of the third, coming right up when we return here on the Crawdads Streaming Network. Top of the third, Crawdads with the lead, 4-2 against the visiting OC Riptide. Jonah Jenkins thought he got out of the inning, giving up the 1 run earlier last half inning, and had to come back out and surrendered another on a wild pitch. So the Dads with a 2-run lead. Still Johnson on the mound. And it's going to be Wilson Galvan, Dominic Soto, and Mark Filia, 2, 3, and 4. Galvan committed a very costly error last half inning. Allowed Kavara's Tears to get on base. Should have been an easy catch in the outfield. Kavara's Tears ended up coming around to score. First pitch here to Galvan. Bounces up to Barnhart, and the count 1-0. A lot of games going on around the CCL this afternoon. Healdsburg in a lawn league matchup with Menlo Park as this pitch is chopped foul down the third base line. It's 8-0 Healdsburg. That's in Healdsburg at Recreation Park. The Arroyo Seco Saints are visiting the Solano Mudcats today. That game yet to go into the first inning. And the 1-1. This is a curveball that is not on target. The count, 2 balls and a strike. Down in Compton, California, the Academy Barons getting ready to play the Conejo Oaks. And at McBean Stadium up in Lincoln, the Potters are going to play the Crabs. The 2-1 pitch, this misses high. It's a fastball. And the count 3-1. The late game today, if you can call it a late game, is going to start at 2. That'll be at Pershing Park in Santa Barbara. That's the Foresters, who are the outright leaders in the Southern Division. As the 3-1 comes in and misses, that's a walk to Galvan. Galvan still 1 for 1. He's been on base 2 times now. Came around to score in the first, but that 2 o'clock game against the San Luis Obispo Blues for the Foresters. Couple of good teams there. 2 teams that the Crawdads are going to go see in a couple of weeks down south. We'll have those games for you from both Pershing Park, the couple there, and then the 1 game in San Luis Obispo at Sinsheimer Park. As here's Dominic Soto. Pickoff move over to first. Nothing doing. Soto was able to reach base on the Tyson Corio error in the first. And this pitch is hit down the right field line, foul. The count 0-1. After a little bit of trouble in the first for Johnson, the second, he was able to pitch with relative ease, but he's walked the leadoff hitter here. And the pitch. This is a slider that misses low and away, and the count even at 1-1. Galvan hasn't drawn a whole lot of walks this summer. In fact, he's tied for the team lead on the Riptide in strikeouts with 7. The 1-1 pitch, this misses high, and the count 2-1. Having trouble locating the fastball now is Fisher Johnson as he takes the cap off, puts his hands through his jet black hair, and gets back on the mound. Oh, Fisher playing a few games with the runner over on first. And now the move over to first, the tag not in time. It's a good move over to first once again from Johnson. Johnson has only thrown 35 pitches so far, so much better than his counterpart. The 2-1 pitch, this is hit to left center, and who's going to make the catch? It'll be Brome, the left fielder. He's able to get there in time for out number 1.
First baseman, Mark Filia.
Oh, and out on the board, here's Mark Filia. Filia still looking for his first hit for the Riptide. He's not listed as a position player. He's actually a pitcher. But he's playing first base. First pitch here is checked on, but contact is made. It's fouled into the backstop, and the count 0-1. Not all that different from our old friend Tommy Scavone, who was a pitcher last summer for the Crawdads, who also played some first base. The other one I can think of is Nathan Panger. He was a pitcher who played a little bit of first. The 0-1 pitch is a slider that misses low and away, and the count 1-1. You see that every once in a while here in the CCL. Guys playing maybe their secondary position. Also see position players who come in and pitch. So the opposite there. The 1-1 pitch, and the runner goes. This is hit through the 5-6 hole, and that'll be a single. A good single there on the left side of the infield for Mark Filia. He officially has his first hit of the summer. Galvin moves up to second.
Designated hitter, Blake
And here comes the designated hitter, Blake Penso. Penso struck out in his first at-bat. He's 0 for 1. Hitting below 200. Not what you want to see out of your designated hitter. The Dad's getting much better production out of, seems to be a combination at DH of Donnelly and Tiers. First pitch here to Penso, and this bounces away from Barnhart. And both runners advance a bag. 2 runners in scoring position now. Runner at second, runner on third. Galvin able to get over to third. Filia now at second with just 1 out. It's a close game. It's 4-2. Crawdads can't afford mistakes such as that one. The 1-0 pitch. This misses low and away, and the count 2-0. Now time is called. Barnhart's going to go out there to talk with Johnson. Possibly talk about maybe going in to Penso, who's not been very good with the bat this summer. Unfortunately for the Dads, any conventional double play, 4-6-3 or 6-4-3 is taken away with the runners now on second and third. Filia not the fastest guy. He potentially could have been doubled up here on a ground ball. The 2-0 pitch. This is hit over to Corio, and Corio goes down to make it, but he cannot reach it. It gets past him. Took a tough hop. Corio tried going into kind of a slide there and to backhand pick the ball. That'll be an RBI. So a hit for Penso. That's his second RBI of the summer. Galvin comes around to score, and Filia up to third. It is now 4-3. Crawdads still with the lead, but just one run at this point. Are going to have to pitch carefully here, as it's Terrence Simmons, who's 0 for 1 today, at the plate, and a good fastball. Simmons cannot pull the trigger. Thought about it. Started getting the bat through the zone there, but held up. He's down in the count. Johnson has his sign, delivers. A good slider there, called for a strike. And quickly, no balls and 2 strikes to the center fielder for the Riptide, Terrence Simmons. So Simmons' 9th at bat. Came in hitting .571. And the 0-2. This is a pitch that misses perhaps a little low. Looked like it was on the outer black. To the lefty Simmons. But it's called a ball. And the count 1-2. Runners on the corners here. The 1-2 pitch. This is fouled. Oh, check that. This is swung on and missed. That was into the glove of Barnhart. Excuse me there. I'll turn this on-field mic down. It's playing tricks on me. So, big strikeout there for Fisher Johnson. And there's 2 away. Pitch here from Johnson. Another good fastball on the outer half, and that's a strike to Gavin Mez. Mez had a hit in his first at-bat in the second. So he's 1 for 1. And the 0-1 pitch. This is swung on and missed. Good slider there from Johnson. And the count 0-2. I wonder if that last pitch was possibly foul-tipped into the glove of Barnhart. Could hear the bat or a popping sound, and it wasn't just the glove on the on-field mic. The 0-2 pitch, and this nearly comes in and hits the batter, Gavin Mez. Mez able to turn out of the way, and the count 1-2. So maybe just going in there trying to brush the catcher Mez off the plate, and we'll see if Johnson elects to go outside with the next pitch. Barnhart pretty much setting up inside. And the pitch, there's that slider, trying to get Mez to go after it. It was in the dirt. And the count even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. So far, Johnson has 4 strikeouts this afternoon. Has a chance for number 5. In a 4-3 ball game that the Dads lead, but there are runners on the corners for the Riptide with 2 away. And the pitch. This is hit on the ground for Corio, and Corio throws to first in plenty of time for out number 3. The Riptide do get a run back. It is now 4-3. The Dads still lead, but this game tight once again. Just a 1-run ball game. Bottom of the 3rd, Dads will be up to bat when we return here on the Crawdads Streaming Network. Bottom of the third, Crawdads lead by a run. It is 4-3. They scored 2 in the first, 2 in the second. The big one was the massive leadoff home run in the bottom of the first by Coleman Schmidt for his league-leading 6th home run of the summer. Reed Schaefer, the new pitcher on the mound for the Riptide. So Jonah Jenkins' day is done. Reed Schaefer making his 4th appearance of the summer, comes in with a 9 earned run average, so very high ERA. Thrown 5 innings, struck out 5, has walked 9. Last time he pitched was on June 23rd at Sonoma. That was that 13-3 win for the Riptide. He threw an inning, walked 1, struck out 2. Oh, the day done for Jonah Jenkins. And see if the lefty Schaefer is able to have more success than his pitching mate. Final line on Jenkins, 2 innings tossed, gave up 4 hits, 4 runs, 2 of them earned. And first pitch, a strike. Walked 2, struck out 3. Was only able to face 15 men, threw a lot of pitches. I mean, above 60. The 0-1 pitch, and here's a strike to Barnhart. And the count 0-2. It's 7, 8, and 9 for the Dads. Barnhart, Tears, and Putz. Barnhart 0 for 1 so far today. Struck out looking in his first at-bat. The 0-2 pitch, this misses way outside, and the count a ball and 2 strikes. Schaefer delivers and misses high and away here, all the way to the backstop. Doesn't even hit the glove of Mez. And the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Barnhart trying to get back on the right track. His last 5 at-bats against the Riptide have all resulted in strikeouts. This pitch misses. And the count runs full 3-2. So a much better job here by Barnhart. Barnhart did not play yesterday. Doing the catching was Joey Donnelly. Here's the 3-2, and this misses low and in, and a good take there by Barnhart. So still 0 for 1, but now he draws a walk. And that's a base runner to lead things off here in the bottom of the third for the Dads. Here's Kavara's Tears. Tears came around to score back in the second. He was able to reach on an E9. The perpetrator there, Wilson Galvan, who had a boneheaded error out there in the outfield. He let the ball drop. Maybe some confusion with his center fielder, Simmons, to who was going to take it. But it was Galvan's ball all the way. Oh, lefty against lefty. And the first pitch to Tears. Tears goes right after it. Hits it very high, but very foul. Out into the brush. Past left field. Past the bullpen of the OC Riptide, the visiting bullpen. On deck, Jude Putz. Pickoff move here. Barnhart slides back in safely. Kind of an elongated move over to first by Reed Schaefer. Schaefer will be a sophomore over at the University of Arizona from Las Vegas, Nevada originally. The 0-1 pitch, and there's a nice curveball that starts out, and starts in, tries to work its way into the zone, and it misses. I count 1-1. A good job by Tears not going after it. Although if Tears gets a hanger, he can do a lot of damage. Saw him do that in Napa. The 1-1 pitch, and there was an off-speed breaking ball that he went after there. Nice curveball from Schaefer. The count 1-2. Tears not able to connect on the swing. Yesterday, saw Tears swing and lose the bat out of his hands. Another pickoff here to first. Barnhart slides back in. Getting dirty over there is Joe Barnhart. He's had to get back to first a couple of times now, with Reed Schaefer worried about him. Not sure why. Barnhart's doing the catching today. Have to figure the legs aren't all that loose. Another throw over to first. That's 3 now during this at bat to Tears, and Kavares might be getting a little frustrated here as waiting to see a pitch. Been about 40 seconds since the last one. Here it is, the 1-2, and a hanging breaking ball there that Kavares Tears takes out to right field, but it goes foul, and a diving catch made by the right fielder Galvan, who dives into the fencing past the bullpen. Did he hold on to the ball? The ball came out of his glove. That was a heck of a play by Galvan, just really laying it all out there. He originally had it when he slammed into the fencing there down the right field line. The ball popped out. So Tears will stay alive in the at-bat, but more importantly, the training staff for the Crawdads going to check on Wilson Galvan, the right fielder for the Riptide. He was coming in with some serious speed to try to make that catch. Went into a dive, had it, and then slid on the dirt there that rings the baseball field here at Monte Vista into the fencing, and he's up, and you can hear the round of applause here. Everybody obviously rooting that he's okay and safe, and hopefully just a couple of scratches there maybe. And he gets his glove back. He'll stay in the ball game. Looks like he's going to stay, and he's got his glove. And we'll see. I mean, don't know if anybody's coming out from the dugout here. And Galvan, who just slid in, is now jogging over to the dugout. So his day will be done. Looked like he may have jammed that shoulder a bit there as he's kind of not able to let it hang the way he normally would, that arm. And we're going to check on who the new player is in the outfield. So the new player in the outfield will be Gavin Hamowitz.
Going into the Orange County line.
After
Number 7, Gavin Hamowitz.
Wilson Galvan was shaken up on the play there, diving into the fencing near the right field line. Kavares Tears still up to bat. Just out a little bit in front, could not keep that ball fair, put a lot of power behind it. And it looks like we'll be ready to go. Gavin Hamowitz, who usually plays over at second base, is now in the outfield. And this pitch is fouled into the Crawdads bullpen by Kavares Tears once again. This time not as deep. It looks like Tears is kind of dialing things up here from the pitcher Schaefer. Hamowitz is going to be a JUCO transfer, still undecided as to where he's going to go. The 1-2 pitch. Here's a fastball on the outer half that gets Kavares Tears looking, and he knows it. He walks back. After he couldn't stay back on a couple of pitches, he was just out in front of them and fouled them. And that's a strikeout of Tears. A one away here in the bottom of the third. Barnhart still over at first. And here's Jude Putz, who was hit by a pitch. Later came around to score. And the first pitch to Putz. The lefty Schaefer misses here. Looked like a pretty good pitch. And the count 1-0. Putz had a rough day yesterday over at short. The 1-0 pitch, this misses away, and the count 2-0. A couple of fastballs that aren't on target there for Reed Schaefer. But I think Putz is starting to settle down a bit. much like Matt King, just had to start seeing some extended playing time. Get back into the groove. The 2-0 pitch to Jude, and he takes here for a strike. Fastball on the inside corner, about belt high. The count's 2-1. And Reed Schaefer throws over to first again. That is the 4th time that he has checked on Joe Barnhart. Putz waiting for the 2-1. Here it is. And a curveball that this is low. Nice pitch there from Schaefer. Can't bait out a swing there from Putz, however. And the count 3-1. No wind to speak of here today. The 3-1 pitch, and Putz draws a walk as it just misses outside. So Barnhart moves over to second. Putz at first. Both men on the base paths for the Crawdads have reached via the base on balls. And here's Coleman Schmidt, who's 1 for 2. Had the big leadoff home run for the Dads in the bottom of the first. But then popped out to the second baseman Soto in the second. Schaefer, the lefty, definitely knows that this is a dangerous situation here. The Crawdads lead 4-3. Schmidt can exit the ballpark at any time, in any count. The first pitch to Coleman, and Schmidt takes low and outside, and the count 1-0. Schmidt, the 4th batter of what's been a long bottom of the 3rd so far, mostly because of that Galvan injury. But word is that he's all good, just taking him out as a precaution. As this pitch is a fastball that hits the inside corner, and the count 1-1. Schmidt, a grand slam yesterday for a walk-off victory for the Dads. Picked right back up where he left off to start this game with another home run. And the 1-1 pitch to Coleman Schmidt. He checks his swing here, and he did go. It is a strike. The count 1-2. Just the 2 umpires today. So no appeals down to first or third. The umpire on the bases is Tony Marcocha, but the only reason there's 2 is because it's a non-division game. Normally there'd be 3. And the pitch to Schmidt. He hits this down the right field line. Will that land fair? It does. Rounding third is Barnhart. And are they going to send Putz? They are. Putz will, no, he will backtrack back to third and try to get back in safely. He does. But a run does score. It's an RBI double for Coleman Schmidt. So Schmitty, with a 2 RBI day, it is now 5-3 for the Dads. Schmidt at second. Putz was being sent home, but the relay back into the infield was rather prompt, and Putz had to go back to third. Oh, here's Tyson Corio. First pitch to the switch hitting Corio. In there for a strike, and the count 0-1. The advantage of having Corio in the lineup. He's a comfortable switch hitter. The 0-1 pitch, and this is jammed in on the hands and fouled behind the broadcast booth. And the count 0-2. Last summer, Jordan Thompson tried switch hitting, and it was interesting because in his first at-bat as a switch hitter, when he switched sides, he hit a home run. And then about the next 6 or 7, did not have that success. The 0-2 pitch, that's in there for a strike. Corey was down looking. And that's out number 2.
Got two.
Oh, here's Ryan Brome.
Left fielder Ryan Brome.
Brome had an RBI in the second. Oh, he's 1 for 2. Did strike out in the first. That hit was to center from Brome. Brome takes a big cut here on a pitch that's below his bat plane, in the count 0-1. 2 runners in scoring position. Putz on third, Schmidt on second, now with 17 RBIs, Coleman Schmidt. The 0-1 pitch to Brome. Brome takes, this bounces up to Mez, he blocks it, and the count even 1-1. Gonna have a special gift for everybody watching and listening. In the 4th inning, Mr. Jack Ben Shoshan will join us on the broadcast. Be a pleasure to have him up here in the booth. The 1-1 pitch. Brome connects here, a looper into left center, and that will score Putz and Schmidt easily. Brome going to hustle into second. The throw not in time. He's in with a 2 RBI stand-up double. It is now 7-3 Crawdads. Oh, this top of the order, really the first and third hitters for the Crawdads in the lineup have been very, very productive. Brome now with 3 RBIs, a single and a double. This pitch fouled away by Brian Duroff, who's now in the batter's box. Duroff had an RBI double in the first, was able to advance to third on a bit of an errant throw to the plate from the second baseman Soto. The 0-1 pitch to Duroff misses high and away, and the count even at 1-1. A lot of dust and dirt blowing around down there on the field. One of the things about this field here at Monte Vista High School is, according to Mateo, their manager, and a lot of the players who play on it during this summer and have played here during high school, the field just eats water. It is so hot out here sometimes. The 1-1 pitch, this misses low and in. And the count 2-1. But, you know, the grounds crew, and I call them the grounds crew, but usually they're the pitchers that aren't playing on any given day. They will go out and water things and try to get everything as wet as they can. The 2-1 pitch to Duroff. Duroff fouls this high and out of play. It's going to land somewhere past the Crawdads dugout. The count even at 2-2. Crawdads have scored in every inning so far. 2 in the first, 2 in the second, 3 here in the bottom of the third. Much different than the game on Friday. They lost 9-6. The 2-2 pitch to Duroff. This bounces up to Mez. Staying at second is Brome. But the count does run full. It's 3-2 to Brian Duroff. Duroff also had a hit in the second. So he's really just been seeing the ball well the past 3 days. The 3-2 pitch to Duroff. He hits this on a frozen rope out on the left. That bounces down. And unfortunately, it's just hit a little too hard out there to Nathan Manning in left. That'll be runners on the corners. Brome not able to advance from third. Thought about it, quickly turned back. But a 3-for-3 day so far for Brian Duroff. Here's Ryan Ellis, who's 0-for-1 but did reach base in his last at-bat in the second by drawing a walk, and it looks like there's going to be a new pitcher. So, Reed Schaefer's day is done. This will be the 3rd pitcher in as many innings for the OC Riptide. Not going the way they want it out on the mound. And it's 7-3. We'll be right back with the pitching change when we return here in the bottom of the 3rd on the Crawdads Streaming Network. Oh, Reed Schaefer's day is done. Third pitcher now on the mound for the OC Riptide. It's going to be Michael Dillon, who we saw on Friday. On Friday, Dillon was able to toss one inning, did give up an earned run. That was that home run to Ryan Brome in the ninth. That was a 9-6 win. Otherwise, Dillon's been very good. There's a 1.42 ERA, but there's two runners on the corners here, and the first pitch here is a strike to Ryan Ellis, the count 0-1. Dillon has a save so far this summer. This is his fifth appearance. Thrown 6 1/3 innings, struck out 7, 5 walks, 2 hits. This pitch misses low, and the count even at 1-1. Dillon came in when it was 9-5 on Friday. Gave up that home run to Brome, made it 9-6, but that's all the Crawdads could get. The 1-1 pitch to Ellis, and he takes here, and a good eye from Ellis as this misses just a touch low. Trying to hit the outer half there was the righty arm from Nova Southeastern University. And a pickoff move here from Dillon over to first, not in time, and the count's still 2-1. Duroff at first, Brome over at third. 2 balls and a strike. The pitch to Ellis, and Ellis has to dip out of the way there, move the body a little bit, and the count 3-1. Dillon at risk of walking Ellis and loading the bases with Joey Donnelly on deck. The 3-1 pitch to Ellis, this misses high, and indeed that's what he does. That's the second straight walk that Ryan Ellis has drawn at the plate. Still 0 for 1, but a couple of walks now, and here's Joey Donnelly, who's 0 for 1, but reached base in the first, was hit by a pitch. Now Brome still at third, Duroff now at second. Ryan Ellis just drew that walk, he's at first. And the designated hitter for the Dads, big power bat of Joey Donnelly in the batter's box. First pitch to Donnelly, and he rips this down the right field line, but it'll be foul. Just foul. With how much foul territory there is here, if that lands fair and then kicks up past the Crawdads bullpen, that might clear the bases. But allowed strike number 1. The 0-1 pitch to Donnelly with the bases loaded and kind of golfs at this one. Bad swing there from Joey. The count 0-2. Pulled the string on him there, did Michael Dillon. Schaefer on the hook for 2 of the runners out there. Duroff and Brome. Dillon has ownership of Ellis at first. The 0-2 pitch to Donnelly, and Donnelly takes a slider here on the outer half and misses, and the count 1-2. Trying to stay outside there was the right-handed pitcher Dillon. Dillon probably not expecting to come in so early to this game, but it's 7-3 Dads. The pitch here, there's that same slider and misses away once again, in the count even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 outs, but the Crawdads have been very good later in the count today. And they've been productive at the plate. The 2-2 pitch. And Donnelly skies this high. And calling for it is the shortstop. And Valentine makes the catch for out number 3. The Crawdads leave the bases loaded, but they do get 3 in the bottom of the third. It is now 7-3 Dads. We'll have the top of the 4th for you when we return. Dads in front by 4, and our good friend Jack Ben Shoshan's going to join us in the booth. Can't wait. Top of the 4th when we return here on the Crawdads Streaming Network. Welcome back to Danville, California. Alonda Say now being joined by Jack Ben Shoshan, one of the Crawdads players, who was kind enough to join me up in the booth here today. How you doing, Jack?
I'm great. I'm really happy to be here. Been thinking about it for the last day, so it should be a lot of fun.
Oh, Fisher Johnson still on the mound for the Dads, ready to embark upon his fourth inning of work. So far, he's given up 3 earned runs. It's 7-3 Crawdads. Struck out 4. And the first pitch here to Valentine. Valentine rips through a good pitch there from Johnson. And, Jack, you do some pitching as well, but what do you think Johnson's had working for him so far this afternoon? He leads the pitching staff in strikeouts.
I think he's struggled a little bit today to find his stuff, as that one misses out. He told me earlier in the game that he wasn't really feeling the velocity in the fastball, and he was going to rely on that slider a little bit more. So trying to mix it up, you don't have your best stuff. You got to find something that'll work.
And the 0-2, this is chopped foul at the plate. And, yeah, it looked like he was having some trouble settling down, but he's gotten into a bit of a rhythm, or he's been more consistent as the innings have worn on. What did you think about Hollis Fanning yesterday with his 8-inning performance?
Yeah, that was awesome. I don't really know how many pitches he went up to, but seeing somebody ever go 8 innings is really impressive. I don't think anybody at Rice got that far.
0-2 pitch here is a slider that gets Valentine looking, and that's his second strikeout of the day. Coming up is Nate Manning, and in the hole is Shane Taylor. So the number 8 hitter retired here. A couple of punch-outs of Valentine, who came in batting 0-4-5 into this game, and that's even lower now with a couple of strikeouts. You're over at Rice in Houston, Jack, and what'd you think of your first year as a college ball player this past season?
It's a big change. It's a huge change from high school. You're there for hours in the fall. It starts with only I think 9 hours a week, and then that ramps up to about 20. It's a lot, but you get really close to your teammates, and it becomes really fun. And the season, traveling, that was something I really looked forward to. Getting to go on some plane trips to North Carolina and Miami, that was really awesome.
That does sound fun. Those are some great places. Miami, as this pitch misses outside. The last couple have been balls. The count 2-1. Where'd you go in North Carolina? Where'd you end up going?
So we ended up in Charlotte.
Oh, okay, Charlotte. Yeah, fun town. And the 2-1 pitch, and this is fouled out of play. And, Jack, you've pitched so far this summer. You've also played out in the outfield. What's more your natural position? What do you like doing more?
I love both of them a lot. I came in initially to college as an infielder, and that changed in early January. I started going into the outfield more, and I felt really comfortable after a couple outings there. But I've always loved pitching, loved coming out of the pen and just, shoving in for an inning or two.
As the 3-2 misses here, and that's a walk to the number 9 hitter, Nathan Manning. But, so you're pretty comfortable coming out of the pen and just throwing an inning and trying to shut things down or maybe putting out a fire if you have to.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, in high school, the big thing I used to do in tournaments was I would come in straight from shortstop without even warming up and just pitch for an inning or two.
I'm sure your arm was already warm, though, if you were over at short.
Oh, yeah, big time. But I was able to get through it. And then finally in high school, I started to be able to use the bullpen, which helped me stay a little bit healthier.
Oh, the first pitch to Taylor, and he hits this to the opposite field. Will it hang up for Brome in left? It does. And that's out number 2. A good pitch there from Johnson, who's, I don't want to say he's on cruise control quite yet, but after giving up 2 in the first, gave up 1 in the top of the third, and here he's already got 2 quick outs even after the walk of Manning. So, Jack, you got injured. Your 2 middle fingers, your middle finger and your ring finger on the right hand, and that happened when you were sliding into second?
Yes. Yeah, so hit a double. I hit it a little bit harder than I thought it did. Bounced right off the wall to the left fielder and had to make a split-second decision to slide into second, and maybe had a little bit of bad mechanics and just got those 2 fingers stuck right on the base and jammed them pretty good.
A first pitch to Wilson Galvan is good for a strike. Galvan 1 for 1. He scored twice. He walked once in his last at-bat. This pitch misses high and in, and the count 1-1. There is a runner at first. It's Nathan Manning. But so when you came in, did your hand get under the bag, or did it kind of clip on top, or?
Well, those 2 fingers that I hurt, they got kind of stuck on the front part of the bag, and so when I slid over, they kind of stuck behind, and just the force with the speed I was going, it just jammed them right back into my hand and sprained them right on the joint.
Yeah, got to be tough if you're sliding in head first for sure, as this pitch misses away in the count 2-1. Any timetable on the return?
Well, we got x-rays back, no break, which was really good. I'm going to go see the hand specialist again on the 30th, so fingers crossed that they say it's all healing well and the soft tissue's all good, but hopefully I'll be back within a week.
That's a good prognosis there. So no breakage, no fractures, nothing like that. Just a simple sprain. But, man, that does hurt, especially when you got to use your hands in baseball as the count 2-1 here. And this pitch misses high.
Yeah, especially on the throwing hand. Very unfortunate.
Yeah, 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away. Johnson looking to finish his 4th inning of work. And so when you do come back, what do you think? What do you think you're going to do first? You think you're going to be able to throw out of the bullpen immediately? And 3-2 pitch here. This misses low and away, and that's a walk. So a couple of walks rendered here by Fisher Johnson. But what do you think is going to come first? Being out in the field somewhere, or are you going to be able to pitch again?
I think pitching might be the first thing. There's a little bit of a worry with hitting that, the vibration of the bat might re-injure or just make the swelling go back. So pitching is probably the easiest, and I don't have to worry about sliding or diving or anything. So hopefully, whether or not it's healing well, I'll be able to come back and pitch maybe 1-2 innings.
We definitely look forward to that, as there's 2 away here, and the new batter coming in is Dominic Soto. So he's the number 3 hitter in their lineup. He's been their best hitter average-wise with nearly a full complement of at-bats throughout the summer, hitting .478 coming into the game. He's 0 for 2, however, and he pops this up very high, but to the left side and out of play. And the count 0-1. The reason I put the caveat on there is, Jack, they have a guy, Terrence Simmons, their center fielder, who came into the game batting .571, but he only had 7 at-bats. But still, I mean, you look at a guy like Coleman Schmidt, and he's batting above .400.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. And even Brome, I think, is batting somewhere close to .400, which is awesome when you got 2 guys in the top 3, top 4 of your lineup.
The 0-1 pitch was looped over to the second baseman, Corio, for out number 3, and the bottom of the 4th coming up. No runs scored for the OC Riptide. It's still 7-3. We'll have Jack Ben Shoshan up with us in the booth once again for the bottom half of the 4th when we return here on the Crawdads Streaming Network. Welcome back to Danville, California. Alon to say with Jack Ben Shoshan up here in the broadcast booth for the Walnut Creek Crawdads here on the Crawdads Streaming Network. Still, Michael Dillon on the mound for the OC Riptide. The starter, Jonah Jenkins, today was only able to go 2 innings for the visiting Riptide. He gave up 4 runs, 2 of them earned. 4 hits, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, faced 15. Reed Schaefer, who came in, kind of got knocked around. So only able to record 2 outs, gave up 3 hits, 3 runs, all earned, 2 walks and 2 strikeouts, faced 7. Michael Dillon, who has so far recorded an out, is back out there. And he's going to face Barnhart, Tears, and Putz, 7, 8, and 9. And Jack Ben Shoshan back here with us. So you're over at Rice. You're going to be a sophomore. You know what? Let's get the academic question out of the way first. What are you studying? Are you still undeclared?
I'm still undeclared, but I'm planning on doing a double major in sport management and business. Just trying to keep it a little bit open, give me some options.
Going to be a GM one day?
That's the goal.
After the MLB career, right?
Absolutely, yeah, when I'm like in my 50s.
So the first pitch here to Barnhart is a good one on the outer half from Dillon for strike number 1. So still a long way away from college baseball season starting back up for you, the 0-1 pitch. This misses outside. What are you looking forward to going into your second year now that you know what the college grind is all about?
I'm just looking forward to being a little bit more comfortable. I know how everything is. I know how the off season's going to be, and I'm kind of used to a little bit more of the fans and having a lot more people at games. So that should be a lot better. Maybe let me be a little bit more comfortable in the plate.
The 1-2 pitch is swung on and missed by Barnhart, and he just has not had much success against the OC Riptide. And really, the last 2 games he's played at the plate, he's now struck out 6 times, all 6 times against the Riptide. Barnhart is 0 for 2. He did walk and came around to score, though, in the 3rd. And here's Kavara's Tears, who came around to score in the 2nd after reaching on that Galvan error out in right field. But he also struck out swinging in the 3rd. So an 0 for 2 day for Kavara's Tears. But Kavara's has really been putting some good swings on the ball as the first pitch from Dillon is on the way. And he chops this up the middle. It's going to be fielded by Valentine. Throws on a hop in time to get the speedy Kavara's Tears. Quick 2 outs there. So you're ready for the upcoming season. Do you have any idea of where you're going to be playing every day, or is versatility going to be a big part of your game this upcoming season?
I think versatility will really help me in the fall. I want to establish myself as one of those everyday outfielders. There's 2 spots I think that are open for the taking. I can really hope that I can get one of those, and then even have a bullpen role.
First pitch here to Putz is a slider that's in there for strike number 1. Oh, yeah, I mean, I think that's so amazing. And is that more common now with guys being able to pitch as well as play out in the field, the 0-1 pitch? And this misses outside. What's your opinion on that?
I actually think it's a dying breed, especially in college. A lot of guys maybe come in from high school as a 2-way, and then they bag it in the fall because they see how much strain you get on your arm. I mean, we had a couple coming into this year, and now I'm the only one. So it's really just up to if you can control what you're doing with your arm and be smart about it and open with the coaches if you're feeling something.
1-2 pitch here to Putz is swung on and miss. A quick 1-2-3 inning for Dillon on the mound. Crawdads not able to get anything going in the bottom of the 4th. Well, Jack, we hope that you get healthy again. Can't wait to see you back out there. And obviously, hopefully have you on a few more times as the summer rolls on, but not because of injury. Don't want to have you up here because of that. But thank you once again for joining us. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
7-3 Crawdads, top of the 5th, when we return here on the Crawdads Streaming Network. Welcome back to Danville, California, top of the fifth. New pitcher for the Crawdads. It is Colson Abel. He'll be taking the ball in relief of Fisher Johnson. Good to see Abel out there today. Fisher Johnson had a pretty good day once he settled down. The final line on Johnson, 4 innings thrown. Gave up 5 hits, 3 runs, all earned. Walked 4, struck out 5, though. Faced 21, so we'll get to see Colson Abel here against 4, 5, and 6. It'll be Mark Filia, Blake Penso, and Terrence Simmons for the Riptide. And real quick, Jack Ben Shoshan back with us here in the booth. She had a special message to shout out.
Hey, Mom. Hey, Dad. Thanks for watching, even though I'm hurt. Hope you're enjoying the game. Enjoying the hot Houston weather.
Oh, down in Houston, we appreciate all the families and everybody who's watching. And once again, thanks for joining us, Jack.
Yeah, thank you again.
Oh, Colson Abel just getting ready to throw his first pitch as Mark Filia steps into the batter's box in a moment here. This is Abel's 6th appearance. He's 2-1 this summer with a ERA at 5 even, so 5.00. Thrown 9 innings, 12 strikeouts, 5 walks. He's given up 8. Last time we saw Colson was at Sonoma on June 22nd. And the pitch here to Filia. And this is a fastball that misses high from the lefty out of Texas Tech. Filia is 1 for 2 today. Had a hit in the 3rd. And it's 7-3 Crawdads at the moment. The 1-0 pitch. This is chopped behind the plate. And the count even, a ball and a strike. Always love getting some of these players to come up, do an inning, maybe a little longer if they want to. Don't want to make them work any harder than they already have to. And the 1-1 from the lefty Abel, and this is hammered but foul down the left field line. In the count, a ball and 2 strikes. In that game against the Stompers, Abel did get the loss. It was a 6-5 loss against Sonoma. Gave up 2 earned runs, struck out 3, walked 1, faced 11. The 1-2 pitch, and that's in there for strike number 3. A fastball that I think Filia thought was a little high and in, but Abel gets the call, and that's a strikeout for Colson Abel out of the pen. So Big Tex with the strikeout. And that'll bring up Blake Penso. It's 1 for 2. An RBI single, but struck out in the 1st. Against Johnson, today's starter. There's that big, nasty curveball from Colson Abel, and he gets it in there for strike number 1. Love when Abel is able to throw that, stay on top of it, and locate it for strikes. The 0-1 pitch from Colson, and this is fouled out of play, and the count quickly 0-2. Abel struck out Mark Filia, who recorded his first hit of the summer earlier today. And down 0-2 is the designated hitter, Blake Penso. The 0-2 from Abel, here it is, and a fastball that, trying to be framed up there by Barnhart, just misses a little low on the count 1-2. Crawdads scored 2 in the 1st, 2 in the 2nd, and 3 in the 3rd. Nothing in the 4th, but it's 7-3. The 1-2 pitch, and that's on the outer half. Back-to-back punch-outs here for Colson Abel. Sit him down, Colson. That brings up Terrence Simmons, who has struck out once today as well. And Colson Abel has a chance to strike out the side. I've seen some good pitching over the last couple of days from these Crawdad pitchers. Hollis Fanning was the starter yesterday. The starter today, Johnson. And the first pitch here to Simmons. And misses low. I count a ball, no strikes, but 2 away. So far, the Dads with 7 runs on 7 hits. Both teams today have an error. The Riptide have 3 runs on 4 hits. The 1-0 pitch from Abel and a high fastball, but called a strike, and the count even 1-1. Abel working pretty quickly. So he's set here, has his sign from the catcher, Joe Barnhart. A leg kick and the delivery. There's that big curveball. This one misses low. I count 2 balls and a strike. Much easier to pitch here at Monte Vista High School than it was for many of these pitchers the other day in Napa, California against the West Coast Kings. They had about a 6-inch crater in the mound as this pitch misses low and away. The breaking ball there from Abel. But it was about 5.5, 6 inches deep and about a foot wide. So you're coming down when you're landing as you're delivering the pitch. And you don't really know where you're going to end up. Here's the 3-1, and Simmons takes a cut on it and fouls it back into the cage. And the count full, 3-2. Hot day out here in Danville, California. Was 86 when we started. It's in the 90s now. But the wind has been friendly. There hasn't been any. The 3-2 pitch, and this is swung on, hit high into shallow left, and making the call for it is the shortstop Putz, who has it for the 3rd out. So, quick 1-2-3 inning there in the top of the 5th for Colson Abel. Bottom of the 5th, when we come back, Crawdads back up to bat here on the Crawdads Streaming Network. Bottom of the 5th inning. The big bat of Coleman Schmidt stepping into the batter's box. It's still Michael Dillon out there. Dillon, the 3rd pitcher employed this afternoon by the Riptide, and the first pitch to Schmidt, and Schmidt hits this high to left field. Going back is Manning, and he tries to leap at the wall. And Schmidt rounding second now, and he will be in sliding safe at 3rd. So Schmidt leapt at the wall, the ball bounced. And Coleman Schmidt with a triple to lead things off.
Second baseman Tyson Corio.
For a moment, I thought that had a chance. Manning, the left fielder, leapt at the wall and misplayed the ball there. It bounced over his head at the warning track, and quickly a runner in scoring position with Coleman Schmidt at 3rd. So here's Tyson Corio, who's 0 for 2 with a walk, couple of strikeouts. First pitch to Corio from Dillon. Misses low on the count 1-0. The infield coming all the way in now. They do not want to concede another run. It is 7-3 Crawdads. It's a 4-run ball game. The 1-0 pitch, and here's a fastball that misses outside in the count 2-0. This pitch is fouled back into the screen in the count 2-1. The 2-1 pitch, and this misses low, and the count 3-1. Schmidt just off of third. A very good day for him. If you're listening, you can put what's going on together as Corio takes a big rip at this, but hits it foul down the left field line in the count 3-2. It'd be good to see Corio put a ball in play here. He struck out looking in the second and the third. Was able to come around to score in the first after he walked. Just hope that Tyson can make some contact. The 3-2 pitch to Corio, and he hits this. A high chopper that's fielded by Filia, and the runner Schmidt is going to have to hold it first as the toss on to first, at third rather, as the toss on to first is in time. So Corio does make contact there, but the very tall Mark Filia able to field it and make sure that the speedy Schmidt does not take off from third. So the infield coming in there, effective for Tim Brown and his OC Riptide. Oh, here's Ryan Brome. There's 3 RBIs so far. Had a double in his last at-bat and a hit up the middle in the second as the first pitch misses low. It was a slider. Count 1-0. The only blemish so far in the ledger for Brome was a strikeout swinging in the first. The 1-0 pitch, Brome connects here. This will land in right field, and Schmidt will jog on home. It is now 8-3. A 4 RBI day for Ryan Brome, or Bromer, as the fellas call him. And here comes Brian DeRoff. Oh, the bat's very hot today for the Dads. You could say that the Dads maybe starting to get hot. Won yesterday. Trying to win today. 8-3 ball game. First pitch here to DeRoff. Misses low and away. And the count 1-0. On deck, Ryan Ellis. He's drawn a couple of walks so far. The 1-0. This misses in. Not around the belt, but inside. In the count, 2 balls and no strikes, 1 away. A runner on first. That's Ryan Brome. And the pitch here, this bounces away from Mez, gets through the pipes. And that'll be a free bag for Brome. He's up at second. It's a play that Gavin Mez usually makes. The pitch was down in the dirt. It was a fast one that kind of got spiked there, but took a fast bounce. But Mez let it get through the wickets. And the count 3-0. Oh, DeRoff. Pretty much do what he wants here. It's a 5-run ball game. He's ahead 3-0. See if he's got the green light. 3-0 pitch. Here's a fastball on the outer half for strike 1. 3 balls and a strike. Brome over at second. Yet another Dad's runner in scoring position. Dylan came in to relieve Schaefer. Delivers here with a 3-1, a good breaking ball on the inside for strike number 2. So the count runs full, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Just the 1 out so far. Dad's threatening to run away with this one here in the middle innings. Already a run scored here in the bottom of the 5th. This pitch is hit hard into left field. That'll get down. And there's going to be runners at the corners here. Brome has to hold up at third as Nathan Manning gets the ball in rather quickly. But a good job by DeRoff, who now has a 4-for-4 day. Nice thing about DeRoff, he's able to go to all areas of the field, up the middle, much the same with Ryan Brome. No problem hitting the ball to the opposite side there. Although that last at-bat, DeRoff pulled into left. And here's Ryan Ellis. Ellis takes the first pitch down in the dirt, and the count, a ball and no strikes. Brome just off of third. DeRoff over at first. Runners on the corners. The third baseman, Taylor, playing in. And this is chopped, and that'll get through the hole on the right side. Another run scores for the Crawdads. It is now 9-3. The hot hitting continues here And you know what? Maybe this is all momentum being carried over from yesterday in the ninth. That's when the Dads finally woke up. The Crawdads woke up and started scoring runs. They scored all 5 of their runs in the bottom of the ninth yesterday. So far here, they have scored 2 in the first, 2 in the second, 3 in the third, and now 2 here in the bottom of the fifth. Runners on first and second. And it's Joey Donnelly up to bat, who's 0 for 2, was hit by a pitch. First pitch here to Donnelly is a breaking ball that misses high and away. The count 1-0. Duroff at second, Ellis at first. The 1-0 pitch, this misses away. Good job by Mez to make sure it doesn't elude his glove and get to the backstop and allow the Crawdads to advance a station. But Ellis, or Donnelly rather, ahead, 2-0. The 2-0 pitch to Joey Donnelly. Donnelly went down to try to get this one just out in front. Fouls this about a mile away from the Crawdads' dugout. And the count 2-1. A lot of foul territory here at Monte Vista, but not enough to hold that one in. You can tell how strong Joey is up there at the plate. Guevara's tears in the hole right now. Big swing and a miss here as Donnelly went after a bad pitch in the dirt that bounced up to Mez, and the count 2-2. Barnhart on deck. We'll have to see what Donnelly does here. There's one away. And the 2-2 pitch from Dylan. Donnelly hits this hard and high into right center, running back, and that baby is out of here. You can kiss it goodbye. It ain't coming back. A 3-run homer for Joey Donnelly. It is 12-3, and the Crawdads have turned this into a laugher. It's a 9-run ball game now. The OC Riptide, who came in here Friday and won 9-6, are getting the other end of it today. The Dads are hammering the baseball, just tearing the cover off of it, and Dylan just gave up a 3-run bomb to Joey Donnelly. There was no chance for the newly inserted right fielder, Gavin Hamovitz, to make the play on that because it landed about 30 yards past the fence. 12 runs on 12 hits now for the Dads. And here's Joe Barnhart. Barnhart really one of the only batters besides Guevara's Tears to not have that much success today. He has been on base, was able to draw a walk. And the first pitch here to Barnhart misses for ball 1, count 1-0. Oh, maybe not as an exciting of a game as yesterday's contest. 1-0 pitch. And a check swing here, and the umpire over at first base, Tony Marcocha, says he did swing on a pitch in the dirt, and the count even at 1-1. This pitch misses away, and the count 2-1. But, yeah, yesterday, close game. It was 4-0 heading into the ninth. Dads score 5, and today they're not messing around. 12 runs already. Here's a pitch that misses low, and the count 3-1. Dylan may be feeling that he's getting squeezed a little bit out there, but that was right around the knee area. And the 3-1 here to Barnhart. Barnhart goes opposite field with it, but it'll hang up in right for Hamovitz. And that's out number 2.
Right fielder Guevara Steers.
Crawdads have scored 5 runs here in this half inning. Bottom of the fifth still rolling on, just 2 away. Guevara's Tears swings and misses at a pitch low and away. Tears has not had his usual success at the plate so far. Still looking to make some good contact as Guevara's as this pitch misses and gets away from Mez, and Kind of kicked off the mitt there and then off the pads and away from him, and the count even at 1-1. Tears, a volunteer over at the University of Tennessee. The 1-1 pitch and a big swing and a miss at a breaking ball there from Dylan. The count 1-2. There's another teammate here. That's Hollis Fanning. A couple of Tennessee gentlemen on the baseball team. The 1-2 pitch. This misses outside, and the count 2-2. And they really are gentlemen, both so kind and great to talk to, whether before or after the game or sometimes in between the game. 2-2 pitch, and this is chopped into the ground. It's going to be fielded by Dylan, who's going to overhand throw to first to get the speedy Tears for out number 3. But the Crawdads strike for 5. 3 coming off the bat of Joey Donnelly, who just hit a 3 RBI home run to right center. It is 12-3, Crawdads, top of the 6th, when we return here on the Crawdads Streaming Network. Top of the 6th inning. It's 12-3 Crawdads, a 9-run lead against the visiting OC Riptide on a getaway day for them. Crawdads will have the day off tomorrow, but then they'll be back at it on Tuesday. That'll be here at Monte Vista High School in Danville, California. That'll be against the Solano Mudcats, so an important game in the CCL North standings for both teams. The Mudcats in second place, the Crawdads in third, trying to clinch a playoff spot as this summer rolls on. The CCL playoffs this year are going to be down in San Luis Obispo. And the prospect game is going to be in Compton, California once again at the MLB Urban Youth Academy. As the first pitch from Abel here to Mez misses low, and the count 1-0. It's Mez, Valentine, and Manning, 7, 8, and 9 for the Riptide, who trail by 9. Just 4 hits so far today for the Riptide. And the 1-0 pitch. Here's a fastball that hits the outer half, and the count 1-1. Abel set. Has his sign from Barnhart. The leg kick, the delivery. This is hit on a line over to Corio at second, who has it for out number 1. Mez tried finding the gap there on the right side. Could not locate it. And there's one away. He's now 1 for 3. Here's Chase Valentine, who's 0 for 2 so far with a couple of strikeouts, one swinging, one looking. And the first pitch from Abel to Valentine. And Valentine just, guess he's going to keep the trend going as he swings at a pitch in the dirt. And the count 0-1. Not today. The 0-1 pitch to Chase Valentine. This misses low, and the count 1-1. Valentine, who came in hitting 0-4-5, has a couple of strikeouts already. The count is even 1-1. He is a Tennessee commit. The 1-1 pitch, and this fastball misses away. And the count 2-1 for a moment there. The scoreboard displayed 5 balls. Didn't know you could do that. But it's just 2-1. Wind blowing out now towards center. Only a couple of miles an hour. The 2-1 pitch. There's a nice curveball from Abel. And the count even at 2-2. See Old Glory out there in the wind. It's also a softball game going on here in Danville at Monte Vista. And the 2-2 pitch. This is hit high into left field. Moving back on it is Brome at the warning track, and he has it for out number 2. Chase Valentine is now 0 for 3. That was his best at-bat, but it still resulted in an out. A couple of strikeouts and a fly out to left. And here's Nathan Manning, the bottom of the order, really offering no resistance so far. Manning did get on with a walk in the 4th. But, I mean, the bottom 2 hitters batting below 100 coming into this game. There's the big curveball from Colson Abel, and that's called a strike. That bender is devastating from the lefty Abel. Abel has a sign, the 0-1. Here it is. Manning checks his swing up. Thought about it. A fastball in the dirt. Barnhart blocked it. And count 1-1. Abel ready. Here it is. The 1-1 pitch. This misses low and in. And the count 2-1. Oh, Colson might bust out that big curve again. A lot of these CCL players have not been able to gauge that thing up when he comes in out of the bullpen. And he's been accurate. The 2-1. Here it is. There's that same breaking ball. This time it misses low, and the count 3-1. Abel probably going to go with a fastball here, try to get this count full, 3-2. And here's the 3-1 from Abel. There's a fastball that pops the mitt of Barnhart, but it misses for ball 4. A 2-out walk there. The second walk drawn today by Nathan Manning. Manning playing today because Santino Panaro, who was the left fielder on Friday, was hit with a pitch in the neck. He turned to try to protect himself, and the ball came up and hit him right around the shirt collar. So Santino out as a precaution today. As this pitch in there for a strike to Shane Taylor. That was Gabe Tanner who hit Santino Panaro. Tanner can throw hard too, so I bet it did not feel good. Luckily, Panaro's okay, as this ball is tipped back into the backstop in the count 0-2. There's a man on first. Manning got on with a 2-out walk. And the 0-2 pitch from Colson Abel misses high. The count 1-2. Maybe trying to change the eye level there was Colson. We'll see if he goes to the big bender here and can get Shane Taylor out with a strikeout. The 1-2 to Taylor. Taylor takes all the way. That's a breaking ball that misses in the dirt, and the count 2-2. Oh, Abel was able to come in, have a 1-2-3 inning in the 5th. Got 2 outs to start the top of the 6th. Gave the walk up to Manning. Really the only bump in the road. And the 2-2 pitch to Taylor here with 2 away. Pitch. This is hit on the ground. A couple of hops over to Corio, who has it close to first and throws to first in plenty of time for out number 3. So another good inning for Colson Abel out of the bullpen. It is still 12-3 Crawdads. The OC Riptide did leave a man out on first. That was Nathan Manning, who got on with the walk. They're not able to produce anything out of it. So a 9-run ball game. Once again, 12-3 Crawdads. Bottom of the 6th when we return here on the Crawdads Streaming Network.
Number 4, Jude.
Bottom of the sixth in Danville, California. The home team Walnut Creek Crawdads lead this 12-3. There's a new pitcher on the mound for the OC Riptide. The first batter up is Jude Putz. The new pitcher is Joshua Hahn. The first pitch authored by Hahn is a strike on the outer half to the right-handed bat of Jude Putz, and the count 0-1. Hahn has only been able to record one out so far this summer. This is his second appearance as this pitch misses low and in. On June 21st against the Conejo Oaks, he came in. It was a 10-5 win for the Riptide, but he was only able to get one out and gave up 3 earned runs, so the ERA at 81. Big cut, big miss there. Actually foul-tipped into the mitt of Mez. And Putz is down 1-2. After Putz, it'll be Coleman Schmidt, then Tyson Corio. Oh, Putz here, waving the bat, and the 1-2 pitch. This misses away, and the count 2-2. Hahn, he'll be a junior over at UCLA. UCLA fight, fight, fight. I'm sure that's what he's thinking. 2-2 pitch and a big swing and a big miss there from the number 9 hitter Putz. And he strikes out for the second time this afternoon. So here comes Coleman Schmidt. I guess you can say he's had a good day. Had a leadoff home run in the bottom of the first, then an RBI double in the third, and a triple in the fifth. So he only needs a single for the cycle. He's 3 for 4. The lone blemish, a pop-up to the second baseman. First pitch here to Schmidt. And he goes right after it. Cannot connect. The count 0-1. But Schmidt would be the first Crawdad, this iteration of the Walnut Creek Crawdads, not just this summer, but since they came back into existence, to hit for the cycle as he fouls this away. The count 0-2. No one did it last summer. No one's done it this summer. Schmidt being the closest. And the amazing thing is he did the hardest part about it, the tri-bagger, the triple, in the fifth. So he already has that dealt with. He'll probably get 2 more at-bats, judging by how well the Crawdads have swung it today. But he's down 0-2 here with 1 away. And the pitch to Schmidt. Schmidt fights this off and actually did not make contact, and it was a swinging third strike, and he gets all the way to first. Yeah. So not a single there. That is a strikeout, but he's over at first base now. If it stayed fair somehow and just dribbled out down the third base line, maybe Schmidt beats it out, but Schmidt swung through it. I think it did make contact with some part of him, not the bat, because I could see the ball take a little bit of a different trajectory, and immediately Schmidt knew what to do. He took off for first, so he's over at first. Still just 1 away. Pitch here. This gets away from Mez, and Schmidt will take second. Tyson Corio in the batter's box lets the first pitch go by. He's ahead 1-0, but more importantly for Hahn, he spikes that one, and Schmidt doesn't need any help already out there when he's at first. He leads the CCL in stolen bases, and now he's at second without having to do much work. And the 1-0 to Corio. He hits this on the ground. Soto up with it, throws to first for out number 2, but Schmidt advances to third base. Now, Crawdad scored 5 in the bottom of the fifth.
Left fielder Ryan Rome.
The Riptide haven't scored since the top of the third, where they were able to get a run. The Crawdads have scored in every inning thus far except for the bottom of the fourth. And they're close to continuing that here in the bottom of the sixth with a man over on third. First pitch to Brome. He checks his swing, but it's called a strike. And the count 0-1. Brome, 3 for 3 today. For 4 he's gone as this pitch misses low. Brome has had some good days, but 3 for 4 today. The one time he was out was a strikeout swinging in the first against today's starter, Jonah Jenkins. The 1-1 pitch to Brome. This misses low and outside. A good job by Mez. Make sure it doesn't get away, and Schmidt will have to stay at third. But Brome had a big 2 RBI double in the third. He came around to score in the fifth after getting on base, and he swings at this one and fouls it back into the cage, and there's 2 strikes on the board now, 2 balls and 2 strikes. This game started at 12:03. We're past the 2-hour mark. OC Riptide haven't given much resistance up at the plate for Crawdads pitchers. The 2-2 pitch, there's a beauty of a breaking ball that misses in, and the count 3-2. A good job holding up by Ryan Brome. That one was coming in slow with a lot of bend. Oh, the count full, 3 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs here. In the bottom of the 6th inning, the Crawdads lead 12-3. The pitch, Brome was able to make contact foul. That's out of play, and the count stays 3-2. A much-needed off day for the Dads tomorrow on Monday, and then a very important game against second-place Solano on Tuesday here at Monte Vista High School in Danville, California at 4 p.m. The 3-2 pitch to Brome, and this misses low. That's a walk. Oh, Brome against the West Coast Kings. That was at Napa Valley Junior College. Was able to draw 4 walks. He's very adept at getting on base by not swinging the bat. And he's still 3 for 4 now with a walk. He's over at first. Schmidt at third. The pitch to Brian Duroff, who's now in the batter's box. Duroff takes for strike number 1, the count 0-1. On deck is Ryan Ellis. The 0-1 pitch, this is fouled back into the cage. And the count 0-2. 2 strikes. Duroff behind in the count. Hahn has now officially pitched an inning this summer with the 2 outs he's recorded here, looking to get through the bottom of the 6th. There's a big curveball that he misses with outside, and the count 1-2. The Riptide sure are looking forward to getting back home. They're tied for last in the CCL South. The 1-2 pitch, and Duroff gets under this and hits this foul. That'll land past the Dads' dugout. And the count 1-2. Couple of other Southern Division teams that the Crawdads will play. The Santa Barbara Foresters, that'll be on the road, as well as San Luis Obispo. And the 1-2 pitch to Duroff. He hits this high into center field. Going back on it is Simmons, and he'll have it right in front of the warning track for out number 3. A couple of runners stranded, but it's still 12-3 Crawdads. Top of the 7th when we come back here on the Crawdads Streaming Network. Welcome back here to Danville, California. Top of the 7th. Alon Desai here with you on the play-by-play. The Crawdads winning 12-3. There's a new pitcher on the mound for the Dads. It is the righty Ben Clark. So, first pitch here from Clark is hit high in the air in shallow center field. And Schmidt will have it for out number 1. Well, joining us up in the booth is Hollis Fanning. And Hollis, how you doing today?
I'm doing all right. Pretty sore from yesterday, but happy to be up here and get a little different vantage point on this game.
Well, it's good to have you. You did throw. How many pitches did you end up throwing yesterday?
I think it was 96.
96 in a summer league game. Man, you got some stamina as Dominic Soto swings through the first pitch from Ben Clark. Clark is making his 5th appearance. He's 1-0 with a 5.4 ERA. 6 2/3 innings pitch coming in. He now has 7 official for the summer. He struck out 3 and walked 4 as this pitch misses, and the count 1-1. But that was a heck of a performance for you, Hollis. And how are you feeling out there as the 1-1 comes here? And this is hit on a line and a leaping catch there made by Jude Putz. That's good to see out of Jude, who's had a tough time over at short. But how were you feeling out there all day yesterday?
Well, it took a little bit to get settled in. The mound was really muddy yesterday, which I know is really an excuse, but I was kind of sliding around for the first few innings. So pretty much all I could do was rely pretty heavily on my fastball until I could get dried out, get a good landing point, and start to breaking stuff.
Much better than the mound in Napa. Pitch here to Filia. Here's a good one for strike number 1. I don't know if you saw that mound out there at Napa Junior College with the moon crater in front of the rubber.
Heard a lot of complaints from Flim after that game.
And here's the 0-1. This misses high and in. So, Hollis, you're going to be in your 2nd year over at the University of Tennessee. I'm always rooting for you and Kavara's Tears. SEC boys got to stay together. What are you looking forward to in your 2nd year in Knoxville?
Well, I will actually be in my 3rd year.
Oh, 3rd year. Sorry about that.
Oh, well, I'm really just looking forward to getting back and competing with the boys. It's fun out here, getting to let loose and have a little fun, but there's just not much that really compares to playing an SEC schedule.
2-1 pitch. That's in there for a strike. Yeah, in the SEC you got, Texas A&M, who made it pretty far. Tennessee made it pretty far. Some good schools. The 2-2 pitch here, this is about a 55-foot fastball that hits the grass first. What are you looking forward to besides just getting back to work? You think the workload's going to be bigger this year, or?
Well, every year it tends to get a little easier just because I know more of what to expect. But we do have a new strength coach coming in, so it'll be fun to adjust and see what he has planned for us. But it was a little easier this year than it was freshman year for sure.
Oh, Mark Filia draws the walk. He's over at first. The designated hitter, Blake Penso, up to the plate. What's it been like being here and only one other Tennessee guy here, and I know you're far away from home?
Yeah, I think this is my 2nd time across the Mississippi River, and it was quite a ways to come. So I think not quite what I was expecting, but I'm having a good time.
First pitch here misses high and out. And the count 1-0. Penso has struck out a couple of times. He did have an RBI single in the 3rd, helping the OC Riptide get one of their 3 runs. It's 12-3 Crawdads. Ben Clark sets and fires. And this is hit hard into left field. That'll land in front of Brome. It took a weird hop on him. He's able to field it. That'll be runners on 1st and 2nd. A good piece of hitting there by Blake Penso, who came into today's contest batting under 200.
Yeah, this playing surface is a little different than what I'm used to, and I guess we can blame some of the defensive mistakes on that.
I think you can, Hollis. Obviously, no humidity out here, and it doesn't rain nearly as often as it does in the southeast. But this field just eats water. Has that been your experience as well when you've been out there?
Well, it has been every day except yesterday when that mound decided to stay a big mud puddle for 3 innings.
So here's Terrence Simmons. first pitch to Terrence. He checks at it and fouls it away. And the count 0-1. So, Hollis, you stand what, about 6'6", 6'7"?
6'7". For some reason, I'm listed at 6'8" this summer. I don't think that was my doing. I may have filled something out and listed myself at 6'8", but I don't think so.
You growing another inch?
Ooh, a half inch last year. I hope not.
The 0-1 from Clark. And this is hit to the opposite field. Moving back on it is Brome, and that'll drop fair. So 1 run will definitely score. 2 will now come home as Philly rounds third. And he crosses home plate. It is 12-5. A 2 RBI double there for Terrence Simmons.
Seems like the couple pitches are just being left a little too pretty after that quick first out.
Ben Clark is giving up a couple of runs here now. Hollis, you were an Ironman yesterday. If you tuned into the broadcast, Hollis Fanning threw 8 innings. Left when it was 4-0. But the Crawdads ended up getting the win. It was a great performance by you. Pitch here misses high to Gavin Mez. But so rest of the summer, kind of what are your expectations? What are you trying to work on as you go forward here with the Crawdads?
Well, in my conversations with Coach Vitello right before I left, he said something big that he wanted me to work on was going inside the hitters again. That was pretty much my focus all last summer when I played in Charlotte, but I moved back to the first base side of the rubber after being all the way on the third for the past 3 years. So it did take a little adjusting, and I kind of lost the ability to run in an inside fastball, so I need to focus on that a lot.
Oh, the 1-0 on the way here from Clark to Mez. Mez chops this foul down the first base line. And so for everybody at home, why do you make that switch from one side of the rubber to the other? What's the thought process there?
Well, I added a cutter mid-season this year, and it was really good from the third base side, but I just didn't quite have the control that I wanted. And I can still get that movement from the first base side, but get better reads off of my changeup with that breaking away from guys a lot more from the first base side.
1-1 pitch was in there. A good fastball from Clark. He's ahead 1-2 to the lefty catcher, Gavin Mez. So just a little bit of a change in positioning can then help where you want to locate your pitches.
Yeah, and the cutter, I can pretty much throw that any count and be happy with it as long as it's a strike. But that changeup is something that just really needs to be there, so I figured it needed to be more of an emphasis in my game.
Good changeup. Definitely a good cutter. We've seen that. I think we saw some nice sliders, too, yesterday.
That's what the rumors I'm hearing is, but I personally call it a curveball.
Curveball?
A lot of debate, but I think it's pretty much up to the pitcher on what he decides to call it.
Well, if you call it a curveball, we're going to start calling it a curveball, but it does have an awful lot of, sideways break on it, so you fooled a lot of hitters yesterday. The count 2-2 as the last pitch misses low. On deck is Chase Valentine with a runner in scoring position. That's Terrence Simmons off of second. And the 2-2 pitch with 2 away. This is grounded over to Duroff at first, but it'll end up bouncing foul. Clark looking for this elusive third out here. What do you think he has to go to right now, Hollis? If you're out there, what are you trying to do?
I mean, 2-2 count, for me, that's prime changeup. Righty on lefty matchup. You know, a lot of guys like to shy away from a righty on righty change, but this will be a good time for him to just drop one in there.
So 2-2. We'll see if Clark does indeed pull the string on the batter, Mez. Looks back to second, fires, and misses high and away. Now the count runs full, 3-2. Are you almost forced to go with a fastball here because you don't want to walk the batter with some type of breaking ball?
I mean, if this is a close game, you might want to challenge him a little more, get him thrown off, try to drop a curveball in there or something. But, I mean, 3-2, up by 7. I think you might as well just go for a fastball and see what he can do with it.
Oh, the payoff pitch. Here it is. This is chopped foul. Account stays full at 3-2. Now Clark looking for out number 3. 2 runs have crossed already for the Riptide. It is now 12-5. Clark lets the arm hang by his side. Looks in, has the sign. Now sets, and here it is. This is hit high into left field, and it should hang up for Brome, who has it on the run. A nice catch by Ryan Brome for out number 3. The OC Riptide do get 2 runs, but that's all. It's 12-5 Crawdads, bottom of the 7th, when we return here on the Crawdads Streaming Network. Bottom of the 7th.
Leading off the bottom of the 7th
It
inning.
is 12-5 Crawdads. I think Hollis Fanning might join us for one more half inning if he decides to put on the headset. We'll see. It's up to him. And the pitch here, that's in there for a strike. Still Hahn on the mound. It is Ryan Ellis, Joey Donnelly, and Joe Barnhart. And Hollis, welcome back. Good to have you up here. Count 0-1. The Crawdads up by 7. This pitch misses low and away, bounces up to Mez. Traps it.
I'm kind of struggling to find where this microphone's at on the left side of my body.
Usually, some people like it on the left side, some on the right. I've always been keep the mic on the left. The 1-1 pitch, and that misses. Count 2-1. I think young Mr. Austin Oda is also a left-sided microphone guy.
Well, for most people, I'd say it's a little easier to just keep it on one side, but I kind of struggle to see the microphone over there.
The 2-1. The 2-1 on the way, and that misses high. And Hollis, we know the story, but do you want to explain that to everybody watching at home? Count 3-1.
Oh, yeah. I'd love to make jokes about it. But for anyone listening, I am blind in my left eye. Completely blind. Cannot see anything. It's just black over there. A lot of people think that I can see and I'm just lying. A couple of my teammates in Tennessee like to joke and say that I've just been lying to everybody for attention. But the week before I turned 16, I was on the farm and was cutting off a coil of wire to tie some gates together. And the tension of it just made it snap up and go a little over halfway through my eye.
These normal things that happen in Tennessee down on the farm.
Yeah,
fixing some fences and work accident.
Yeah, I mean, that'll happen. You'll have that sometimes.
So here is Joey Donnelly. Had a massive home run in the 5th. Big reason why the Crawdads are up 12-5. Some dancing over off of first there by Ellis. This fastball misses high, and the count 1-0. Donnelly 1 for 3 today. Big 3-run home run. So how does that affect how you pitch? Does it affect you at all? I mean, is the depth perception a little wonky?
Well, not really on the mound. I guess when I come to, like, field a bunt or something, it can get a little weird. If it takes a sketchy hop, it'll kind of throw me off. But the way I've always tried to describe it is it didn't really bother me with pitching because I get to just throw it through the catcher. But if I were to, like, throw a football and I have to, like, throw it to a guy, then it would be an issue.
2-0 on the way. Taking a few peeks over to first is Hahn. He fires here. Good fastball there for a strike. Count 2-1. Good fastball on the outer half. To the lefty bat of Joey Donnelly. On deck is Joe Barnhart. So, an uncommon story, and especially for a player who's playing at the highest level of college baseball at the University of Tennessee. This pitch in there, and the count 2-2. But you do any other activities, hunting, archery, anything like that, where you have to use one eye over the other? Does it affect you there?
I am a big hunter. I'm not much of a killer. I'm not great at that part. But I do a lot of sitting in the woods and staring at the trees.
2-2 pitch. This is fouled back. And the count 2-2.
I was big on archery too, pretty much right up until the point of me losing my eye, because I outgrew my bow, and that was right when I had learned that you're supposed to shoot your bow with two eyes open. So I had changed all my sights, and then all of a sudden I lost my left eye.
The 2-2 pitch, and this is hit on the ground over to the second baseman. Soto flips on to second for the first out, and the relay in time over at first. So you can hear shouts of someone didn't get out of the way. And now we hear some of the umpires saying that's enough here. Staying over at first is Donnelly. There's an out at second. And Donnelly now throwing the gear over, so he'll be at first. I thought they were maybe going to change that. So Donnelly's actually safe, no double play. Interesting to hear all the shouting back and forth in a 12-5 ball game. Pitch misses low.
These coaches are very invested in this summer team. I went up earlier to ask if one of my buddies was in the lineup, and they all just stared at me and acted like I wasn't there.
12-5 ball game, 7 runs. OC Riptide heading back down south after today's contest. And this pitch misses, and the count 2-0. So Hollis started on Saturday. So are you now the Saturday guy for the Crawdads? Is that kind of what's going on now?
Yeah, that was something that had been planned for a while, and I had been begging for more innings and more innings. And then they finally said that they'll pretty much give me as many as I want on Saturday, and as long as they can keep me quiet the rest of the week.
Oh, Barnhart safe over at first after a ground ball kicks off the glove of Filia, and that'll just be marked as a base hit. No error there on the third baseman. Still an attempt to get him out at first, but Barnhart did a good job of getting down the line. Do you have an inning cap or a pitch cap for this summer, being here for the summer league, or a number that you're not supposed to go over, or a number that you have to hit?
Well, I threw last summer and threw, I think it was 58 innings and 4 complete games. And the Tennessee coaches, they kind of like to see that out of me, I think. So I kind of came in with the same mindset this year of throw as much as I want. Then I had a conversation with them. They said if they end up thinking that it's too much, they'll just shut me down once I get back on campus.
So here's Kavares Tears, who checks at the first pitch, and the appeal to Tony Marcocha, and he says he did not swing. The count 1-0. Is talking to our PA announcer Andy up here in the booth, who's a former umpire himself. Said really the angle that you have back there behind the mound on making those check swing calls is no different than you have behind the catcher, as this pitch misses low and the count 2-0. Obviously you're used to always playing with 3 umpires out there.
Yeah, I mean, even with the I think with the regional we had 6.
A lot of guys out on the field at once. The 2-0 pitch, and this is chopped on the ground over to the shortstop. Feeds the second for 1, and the throw over to first in time, so a double play there. Good job by Valentine and Soto to turn that 6-4-3 double play. But the Crawdads still out in front. It's 12-5. Hollis Fanning, thank you for joining us up here in the booth. It was a pleasure to have you, and can't wait to see you in your next start.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, have a great day, buddy. Be right back with the top of the 8th when we return here on the Crawdads Streaming Network.
Leading off the top of the 8th inning. For Orange County, the shortstop, number 2, Chase Valentine.
Top of the 8th inning, 7-run ball game here in Danville, California. The Crawdads lead. It's 12-5. We made it to the top of the 8th. Game started at 12:03, and Chase Valentine, the first batter in the box here in the top of the 8th, takes the first pitch for a strike from Ben Clark. Count 0-1. It is Valentine, Manning, and Taylor. 8-9-1. This pitch bounces up, and the count even 1-1. And the 1-1 pitch, here it is, a big swing and a miss. Beautiful off-speed pitch there from Ben Clark. Made Valentine look silly. And Clark ahead 1-2, has a chance for the punch out. The 1-2 pitch, this is chopped on the ground. Over at third is Ellis, up with it, fires to first in time, plenty of time, and there's one out. So here's Nathan Manning, who's 0 for 1, but has been on base twice. He's drawn a couple of walks, one in the 4th, one in the 6th. Game got bogged down a little bit when Galvan got injured earlier. And the first pitch here misses, the count 1-0. And the 1-0 pitch. This is hit the other way, back over to the third baseman, who has some trouble with it, Ellis, and he still makes a very good throw over to first, just in the nick of time for out number 2. Ellis had it, then kind of fell out of the glove on the dirt there. He picked it back up and rifled the baseball over to first base. Brinder off with a good stretch, and there's 2 away. So a couple of 5-3s in the scorebook. And here's Shane Taylor. Oh, boy. And here comes Tim Brown. And he's arguing with Tony Marcocha about the out call at first. Brown not happy. See him gesticulating out there, pointing right in Marcocha's face. And yeah, he's probably trying to get his team going here. They're being blown out. It's 12-5. It was 12-3 earlier. They had just scored 2 runs in the top of the 7th. And then Tim Brown doesn't get tossed. Lucky for Tim. So he's walking back to the dugout here. And you can just hear the chaos going on here at Monte Vista High School in Danville, California. As Tim Brown now walking back to the dugout. No, there's 2 away. It's still 12-5. And it's actually a pinch hitter is Julio Rosas. So Rosas pinch hitting for Shane Taylor. Saw Rosas in the last game on Friday as well. Came in late. The 1-0 pitch. And this is hit very high and deep into left field. Running back is Brome. And that bounces down at the warning track. Brome getting it back in. That'll be a stand-up double. Was waiting to see if that would hop up over the wall for a ground rule double. It'll be a double either way. And that's a double with 2 away. A good job by Rosas, who comes in for Shane Taylor. And here's Gavin Hamovitz. Hamovitz entered in for the injured Wilson Galvan. Galvan, who hurt himself trying to make a miraculous diving play out in foul territory in right field and slid into the fencing. So the first pitch to Hamovitz, and this misses low and away, and the count 1-0. 2 outs here, 12-5, top of the 8th. Crawdads at this point just trying to get out of here with a win, and I think Tim Brown, the manager of the OC Riptide, was trying to get his team fired up before they get back on the bus after this game, no matter the result. The 1-0 pitch, and this is flared into right field, but that lands foul down the right field line. Count even at 1-1. Hamovich steps back in. And the 1-1 pitch coming here from Clark. Here it is. This is hit down the right field line once again. Making a run on it is Kavares Tears, but that lands in the Crawdad bullpen in the count 1-2. Tears didn't turn on the afterburners there. Ball was hit pretty far into foul territory, but especially after what happened to Wilson Galvan, who's, okay, just been taken out of the game because he was a little shook up. But I don't want to have anything go wrong down there in a summer league game in foul territory. And the count's 1-2. Clark looking to complete his second inning of work. Has given up 2 runs. And the 1-2 pitch from Ben Clark. This is chopped over on the left side. It'll be taken by Ellis, and he throws it first in time for out number 3. There's going to be no arguments about that one. And the bottom of the 8th is going to be here on the Crawdads streaming network when we return. The Crawdads lead 12-5. Bottom of the 8th, the Crawdads lead 12-5. New pitcher on the mound for the OC Riptide. It's Trevor Meisner. He will be the 5th man on the mound for the Riptide and the 4th out of the bullpen in relief of the original starter, Jonah Jenkins. Saw Meisner on Friday. Meisner will be a junior up at Dixie State College on that Friday game against the Crawdads here in Monte Vista, Danville, California, at Monte Vista High School. That 9-6 win for the Riptide. Meisner threw an inning, gave up 1 earned run, 2 hits, walked 1, struck out 1, faced 6. Overall on the season, he's 1-0 with a 5.06 ERA. This is his 5th appearance. He's thrown 5 1/3 innings. 3 strikeouts, 6 walks, and 6 hits. So the strikeout to walk ratio not good, 1-2. And it'll be 9-1-2 for the Dads. Putz, Schmidt, and Corio.
Shortstop number 4.
Oh, the day is over for Hahn. First pitch to Jude Putz misses away, and the count 1-0. Bottom of the 8th starts out with a pitch for a ball. Hahn went 2 innings, walked 2, struck out 2. No one runs. Big swing and a miss there. Foul tipped into the glove of Mez, actually, and the count 1-1. Putz 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts, but he's walked once and been hit by a pitch once as this pitch hits the outside black for strike number 2, and the count a ball and 2 strikes to the leadoff man here in the bottom of the 8th. The Crawdads up by 7, 12 runs on 13 hits so far. This pitch, big over-the-top delivery there from Meisner, and it misses, and the count 2-2. And now some more yelling here from the Riptide dugout. And they finally checked the swing on there, and they call Putz out. So that was a late appeal. There was no call from Justin Hammett behind home plate. Finally, the appeal over to Tony Marcocha, and Putz is out. So there's some hollering going on from both the OC Riptide dugout and now the Crawdads dugout in what is a 7-run ball game. Here's Coleman Schmidt. That's the 3rd strikeout of the day for Jude Putz. There's that big over-the-top delivery once again from Meisner, but he misses in the count 1-0. Coleman Schmidt, you would think, unless the Crawdads are able to bat around here, this will be his last chance at hitting for the cycle. He has a home run, a double, and a triple. So just needs the single as this pitch misses away in the count 2-0. I think even if he hits one into a gap, Schmidt might just settle for first. The 2-0 pitch, and he takes here a good fastball. That count 2-1. Meisner comes straight over the top with the baseball. And the 2-1. There's a curveball from Meisner, big 12-6 breaker. Started high, ended up high right around the belt, but called for a strike, 2-2. So Schmidt took there, count even. With one away here in the bottom of the 8th. Tyson Corio on deck. The 2-2 pitch from the righty Meisner. This misses a bit outside, and the count 3-2. The switch hitting Corio will bat lefty against the righty Meisner when he gets up to the plate, no matter what happens here with Coleman Schmidt. In a full count, he's going to see a payoff pitch. Looking for that single is Coleman. The 3-2, Schmidt hits this, but foul into the cage. And the count stays full 3-2. Just a little late there. Schmidt got things started off with a bang here for the Crawdads offensively with a solo home run in the bottom of the first. And this pitch is hit into shallow right. And is it going to drop? It will, and it's fair. That is the cycle for Coleman Schmidt. Coleman Schmidt does something no Crawdad has done before and something that very few players have done in general. He hits for the cycle. So mark that down, ladies and gentlemen. June 26, 2022, the Crawdads and Coleman Schmidt. A very important day for both the organization and the player. Coleman Schmidt gets the cycle.
Second baseman Tyson Corio.
Oh, good things keep happening for Coleman Schmidt, who has the cycle today. And here's Tyson Corio. This pitch is hit to right center by Corio. It drops. A little Texas leaguer there. Corio now at first. Schmidt advances to second. Corio now on base. Coleman Schmidt, outright the best offensive player not only on the Crawdads but in the league. 6 home runs, hits for the cycle today, has 16 RBIs. I mean, what can he do? He leads the league in steals, hit a grand slam for a walk-off yesterday. First pitch there. Misses in the count 1-0, but he is the most dangerous batsman in the CCL thus far, and he's hitting above 400. The 1-0 pitch, that's in there, fastball to Brome. And the count even at 1-1 with one away here. 2 runners on, it's 12-5. But if you're just tuning in now, Coleman Schmidt just hit for the cycle moments ago. He had a triple, a double, and a home run already. The 1-1 pitch, and this is hit through the hole on the left side, and here comes Schmidt. Is he going to round third? And he will. The throw is going to be offline, and Schmidt scores easily. It is 13-5 Crawdads. An RBI single there for Ryan Brome. The blowout continues here. The lead back up to 8 runs. The biggest lead the Dads have had was 9. It was 12-3. And here's Brian DeRoff. So just everything going right for Walnut Creek this afternoon. And Schmidt has been a big part of it. Here's Brian DeRoff, who has had a very good day for himself. Strike there. Count 0-1. Had an RBI double in the first, had a home run in the fifth. Also had a couple of hits in the second and the third, so he is 4 for 5. This pitch, Duroff swings at it, slices it foul into right field. Is it going to hang up for the right fielder? Going into the slide is Hamovitz. He does make the catch. The runner from second will tag and reach third. Oh, Tyson Corio able to advance to third. There are 2 away. Braum has to stay put over at first. And Brian Duroff with a fly out in foul territory in right field. A very nice play there by Hamovitz, who came in for Wilson Galvan earlier. And here's Ryan Ellis. Ellis has walked 3 times today. Also had a hit in the fifth and came around to score. Popped up in the first to the second baseman, Soto. First pitch to Ellis is a good fastball that runs in on him for strike number 1. It started kind of tailing in towards him. Ellis kind of leaned out of the way, but it nicked the zone on the inner half in the count. No balls and a strike. Second pitch to Ellis is a big curveball that hits the zone. Ends up about knee high. Started high and a lot of break there on that curveball from Meisner. And the count, no ball and 2 strikes. So 0-2. The 0-2 pitch, and trying to frame it is Mez. Does not get the call, and the count 1-2. On deck, Joey Donnelly. And Duroff, sorry. I mentioned that Duroff had a home run. I was talking about Joey Donnelly. Looked at the wrong box on the score sheet. And a big swing and a miss here from Ellis. Foul tipped into the glove of Mez. That'll end the inning. But the Crawdads do get another run. But more importantly, Coleman Schmidt, have a great day. Have a great summer. He's definitely having one. He hits for the cycle. A little bit of history made here today in Danville, California for the Walnut Creek Crawdads, who lead 13-5. Top of the 9th when we return. Crawdads trying to get out of here with a win on the Crawdads streaming network. Top of the 9th in Danville, California. Idris Azani is going to get the ball for the top of the 9th. Try to make sure that this big lead does not disappear. It's an 8-run ball game. It's 13-5 Crawdads. Ben Clark was able to go 2 innings, gave up 3 hits, 2 runs, both of them earned, walked 1, faced 10. Didn't strike anybody out. We'll see what Azani has on the mound here this afternoon in the top of the 9th inning. Crawdads looking to start a winning streak here after winning in walk-off fashion yesterday. Today has been a little easier for the Crawdads as they lead by 8 runs. Idris Azani making his 5th appearance. He has a save, hasn't given up an earned run yet. He's struck out 4, hasn't walked anybody, and only given up 1 hit. His last appearance against the West Coast Kings on June 18th here in Danville, California was an 8-2 win for the Crawdads. He threw an inning, struck out 2, faced 3. Oh, the first pitch from Azani misses low and away. And the count 1-0. In the batter's box is Dominic Soto. It's Soto, Filia, and then Penso. 3, 4, and 5. The last chances for the Riptide right now. This pitch is fouled, and the count even at 1-1. The Riptide are going to have anything positive to feel about. They're going to have to get some men on the base paths here in the top of the 9th, the game that they trail by 8. The Crawdads have had plenty of offense. Duroff with a big day. Donnelly with a huge home run. Schmidt with the cycle, as out in front of this is Dominic Soto, and he hits this foul down the left field line, and the count 1-2. But the story today, the cycle for Coleman Schmidt. Duroff with another very productive day. 4 hits for him, as this is fouled. The count 1-2. Duroff with the 4 hits today, come around to score. He had an RBI double. Joey Donnelly with a huge 3-run blast. Just a very potent day offensively for the Dads. 13 runs, 15 hits. The 1-2 pitch, and this misses low and away, and the count 2-2. In line to get the win is today's starter, Fisher Johnson. This pitch looked like a good one there from Mazzani, but called a ball, and the count 3 balls and 2 strikes. The loss, if things hold up, would go to Jonah Jenkins, the starter for the Riptide. This ball bounces up to the catcher, Barnhart, and that's a walk leading off the top of the 9th. Soto now on first. Here comes Mark Filia, who walked in his last at-bat in the 7th, eventually came around to score. Filia struck out in the 5th, flew out in the 1st, but did get his first hit of the summer in the 3rd. No, nobody out, a runner at first. Mazzani looking in. Has a sign, now fires, and popping the glove there with a good fastball is Idris. And the count 0-1. Not offering at it was Mark Filia. On deck, Blake Penso. In the hole, Terrence Simmons. The Riptide trying to extend this game for as long as they possibly can. Still nobody out. The 0-1. This misses low and away. The count even at 1-1. Mazzani looking to keep that glimmering 0.000 ERA intact. He does have to deal with a man on first in a game that doesn't have hardly any pressure now, being an 8-run ball game, as this pitch is fouled away, and the count 1-2. Crawdads used a massive 5-run 5th inning to really take a stranglehold on this game. It was 7-3 after the 3rd. The OC Riptide were within 4, but Crawdads kept the foot on the gas. The 1-2 pitch, this is sliced foul. The count holds at 1-2. In the 3rd, the Dads also scored 3. Just a really good day for the Dads, getting the bat started early as opposed to yesterday, where they had to wait all the way until the bottom of the 9th. And hopefully this is a sign of things to come for the Dads. The 1-2 pitch, this bounces up to Barnhart. The count even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Some other games going on around the CCL. Arroyo Seco's playing the Solano Mudcats. They're leading 7-3 as this pitch is hit high into foul territory. Running on it is Ellis, and that'll land just beyond the fencing next to the bullpen of the Riptide. So the count stays at 2-2. Ellis made a bid to get over there in time, and if he had a little more room, he probably could have made that catch, but the fencing impeded him. That game at Vanden High School, that Solano is down by 4 against the Saints, is in the bottom of the 7th. 2-2 pitch and jammed into shallow center field. Coming on to make the catch is Tyson Corio, calls off Schmidt. A good job by Tyson Corio. That's out number 1. Here comes Blake Penso, today's designated hitter for the Riptide. At the MLB Urban Youth Academy down in Compton, California, the Barons are tied with the Conejo Oaks, 7-7, top of the 6th. The Healdsburg Prune Packers blew out the Menlo Park Legends 11-1 in Healdsburg. This pitch swung on and missed. Foul tipped into Barnhart's glove, called by Justin Ammett, the home plate umpire. The Lincoln Potters trail by 2 against the Humboldt Crabs up at McBean Stadium, McBean Park in Lincoln, California. It's 4-2 Crabs in the top of the 8th. The 0-1 pitch. This is chopped down the third baseline foul. And the count 0-2. Santa Barbara hosting the San Luis Obispo Blues today. Santa Barbara, who's in first place in the Southern Division, is leading 10-2 in the bottom of the third at Pershing Park. And obviously here it's 13-5 in the top of the 9th for the Crawdads against the Riptide. The 0-2 pitch, here it is, and this misses, and the count 1-2. A good job by Barnhart to not let that pitch get away. The runner Soto has to stay at first. The count 1-2 to Blake Penso, who has struck out twice. 2 for 4 with 2 hits. Has an RBI. 1-2 pitch. He swings through it for a strikeout. That's out number 2. Idris Azani pumping the gas by him. Oh, with 2 outs, it's Terrence Simmons. Simmons, the center fielder for the Riptide. Will have to do everything he can to keep things going for the men visiting from Orange County. He's 1 for 4 with an RBI double in the 7th. He struck out once. That was against the starter Johnson. A righty against lefty here. The righty on the mound, the lefty in the box. Azani set. And the first pitch, that hits the zone for strike number 1. Azani going right after him. Going to that outer half. The pitch that registered right around 82 miles an hour. And the 0-1 pitch from Idris. This misses high and away. A count 1-1. The Crawdads will be back at it on Tuesday. Off day tomorrow. Tuesday against the Solano Mudcats. This pitch fouled out of play, and the count 1-2. The Mudcats are in second place right now in the CCL North, 3.5 games behind first place Healdsburg. The Crawdads at 4.5 games back, so just a game back of second place. The top 2 teams from each division make it to the playoffs. The 1-2 pitch. Here it is. This is chopped on the ground, and who's going to take it? Corio has to wait for it to finally get to him. He fires over to first in time for out number 3, and that's today's ball game. A bit of a lengthy one here this afternoon, but a 13-5 win for the Crawdads. The massive highlight of the day, and Donnelly had a great 3-run homer, but Coleman Schmidt hits for the cycle on June 26, 2022, and he got it in the 8th with a little flare to right field that landed in between 3 fielders for the Riptide. It just stayed fair, not by much, only by a few inches, but it was enough for that elusive single that Schmidt was looking for, and he hits for the cycle. The Crawdads with a big 8-run win, and got a little revenge after losing to the Riptide on Friday 9-6. So the winning ways continue. The Crawdads have now won 2 in a row. They improved their overall record to 10-7, still 4-5 in league, not a league game. The OC Riptide fall to 8-6. The Crawdads will be back at it on Tuesday, as we mentioned, against the Solano Mudcats. The winning pitcher today is Fisher Johnson. Johnson was able to go 4 innings, gave up 5 hits, 3 runs, all earned, walked 4, struck out 5, faced 21. And then some good work out of the bullpen from Colson Abel, Ben Clark, and then Azani closing things down here in the top of the 9th. Obviously a non-safe situation. Jonah Jenkins, the losing pitcher for the Riptide, was only able to go 2 innings. Gave up 4. Check that. It'll actually be, oh no, it's wrong here. Jenkins went 2 innings, but he gave up 4 runs, so making the correction on the point streak scorebook is the play-by-play announcer here. But Jenkins was only able to go the 2 innings, gave up 4 hits, 4 runs, 2 earned, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, faced 15. So a pretty good win today for the Crawdads, who are now on a 2-game winning streak after winning yesterday and now winning this afternoon. Pretty much all the other action in the CCL wrapping up. The OC Riptide, when they get back home, they're going to have to get in gear. They are tied with the Arroyo Seco Saints for last place, but the good thing for them, only a game and a half back down there in last place of first place. Santa Barbara in first place in the CCL South. So Coleman Schmidt with the cycle, Fisher Johnson with the win, Azani with a good job in the top of the ninth. Did allow one to get on, but that was it. So, you know, I think the bats are really starting to come alive here for this Crawdad team. And the pitching has looked good. Yesterday, Hollis Fanning was able to go 8 innings strong, and the Crawdads eventually were able to pull that out. Fisher Johnson able to do a good job and get his first win of the summer. He is now 1-2. So, this game started at 12:03. It ends at 3:23. So the final time there, 3 hours and 20 minutes. A lengthy one on a hot day here in Danville. Final line score, the Crawdads 13 runs on 16 hits with 1 error, and the visiting OC Riptide just able to get 5 runs, which normally would be a good amount, but not when the opposition scores 13. They were able to collect 7 hits. They also had an error. So the Crawdads will be back here in Danville, California at 4 p.m. on Tuesday. We hope to see you here. There's plenty of room here in the stands, and we'll have some fun things going on, snow cones, popcorn, you know, the whole shebang-a-bang for when you're out here enjoying the Walnut Creek Crawdads as they're trying to make it to the CCL playoffs this summer. They came up short last summer, just finished 500 overall, but a pretty good vibe going on down there on the field for the Dads. So once again, I'm along to say the Crawdads win 13-5 for everybody, for Hollis Fanning, for Jack Ben Shoshan, for Austin Oda, who was not on the call today but was doing some of our social media work. Really appreciate that, Austin. Thank you so much. For Daniel Rainey, our assistant GM, he just does such a wonderful job making sure everything runs so smoothly here every day that we're here in Danville, California at Monte Vista High School. So for all those folks, I'm along to say thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for inviting us into your home, and we'll hope to see you on Tuesday at 4 p.m. against the Solano Mudcats. Have a good night, everybody.